towards your dreams and tomorrow. Let's go from now on. Darling, the IYF brings the light to dark and lost. Let them see the way of life, and we praise the new hope of joy. Cohesion IYF, hold your hand to be the one. Tell the world of good news, like the shining stars in the sky. IYF. Change, IYF makes a change. Everyone join together. When your heart opens, you can be one with us towards your dreams and tomorrow. Let's go from now on. Darling, the IYF brings the light to dark and lost. Let them see the way of life, and we praise the new hope of joy. Coalition IYF, hold your hand to be the one. Tell the world of good news, like the shining stars in the sky. Darling, the IYF brings the light to dark and lost. Let them see the way of life, and we praise the new hope of joy. Coalition IYF, hold your hand to be the one. Tell the world of good news, like the shining stars in the sky. IYF.
지난 날 아무 계획도 없이 끝을 쓰고 떠났던 너, 좀 머리 꿈처럼 표정이 예전 밤과 같아. 모습은 어색하고 서투른 아무것도 몰랐던 너, 두렵지만 설레이는 시작엔 네가 있어. 괜찮아, 잘 될 거야. 너에겐 눈부신 미래가 있어. 괜찮아, 잘 될 거야. 우린 널 믿어 의심치 않아. 너만의 살아가야 할 이유, 그게 무엇이든 후회 없이만 산다면 그것이 슈퍼스타. 괜찮아, 잘 될 거야. 너에겐 눈부신 미래가 있어. 괜찮아, 잘 될 거야. 우린 널 믿어 의심치 않아.
널 힘들게 했던 일들과 그 순간에 흘렸던
땀과 눈물을 한 번에 털어버리자. 괜찮아, 잘 될 거야. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to the last session of our 2022 IYF Online Global Camp. Thank you so much for being with us for 3 days. And this time, for this evening, we had prepared a lot of programs to all of you. But I would like to teach you first the lyrics of the song a while ago. So, could everybody say, 괜찮아? 괜찮아? 잘 될 거야. The meaning of that is it's okay. It will be fine. So no matter how hardship that you may have right now, whatever struggles or hurdles that you are facing right now, it's okay. It will be fine. Please have that kind of heart, and then surely you will have peace and hope while you are waking up every day in the morning, and of course while you are doing your chores, everything that you need to do. If you will just say and put in your heart that 괜찮아, 잘 될 거야, it's okay, everything will fine. So ladies and gentlemen, by this evening we will be watching first a very colorful and bright performance coming from our official dance team. They're going to dance to the tune of On Tak. Let's have the Righteous Stars up on our screens.
There ain't a reason you and me should be alone tonight. Yeah, baby, tonight. Yeah, baby. I got a reason that you should take me home tonight. I need a man that thinks it's right, but it's so wrong tonight. Yeah, baby, tonight. Yeah, baby. Right on the limits where we know we both belong tonight. It's hard to feel the rush, to trust the dangerous. I'm gonna run right till the edge with you, where we can both fall.
Yes, thank you so much to all of our righteous stars. You know what? Happiness could be found to the people who are happy. Like you can only smile when you are together with people who are always smiling. Just like same as true with hope and joy, excitement and everything. If you are surrounded by those kind of people who are having this hope, who are excited, who are happy, then you will be like them. So, ladies and gentlemen, this Good News Corps Overseas Volunteer program is a platform for the youths to go out of their comfort zones, to find something or to find a stepping stone in order for them to be successful, in order for them to find the real happiness. If you find out in the Google, where can I find happiness? There's no route for that, or there is no exact map for happiness. But the real thing is that the happiness was only found in your heart. Ladies and gentlemen, during the Global Camp, I'm always telling you that I am also a member or an alumni of this Good News Corps Overseas Volunteer. And right now, the thing is that I would like to share you my story as well. So can we have that video up on the screen, please? Minasan, konnichiwa. I'm Mansent Marjorie dos Santos, a Good News Corps Overseas Volunteer to Japan.
Okay, so we prepared pictures. Please say something or react based on the pictures.
So let me pick one picture. Okay, so this is actually my favorite picture. It is the picture that what we are doing is we're doing cantata. So this Easter cantata makes us tour to the different cities in Japan. So from Hokkaido to Okinawa, we toured there and do the cantata in the big theaters. So we don't only have this Easter cantata, but we also have the Christmas cantata. Okay. So this picture they are actually my co-GNCs. We have here some Filipinos, Thai, Indian, and also friends from South America. So I'm really happy to be with them. Yes. So this is when I am climbing the Mount Fuji. So I actually climbed Mount Fuji twice already, and I am really in love with the sceneries at the top of the mountain. And I guess this would be the last picture. Okay. As you can see, I got car accident. Actually, one day, someone told us that there will be this Tokyo International Conference for African Development, or TCOD, and all of the African presidents will be coming to Japan. There we received a task to set an appointment with the head of state of the African nation, with the founder of IYF, Reverend Oksu Park. Our team doesn't know how and what to start. So we got sleepless nights to prepare documents.
Konnichiwa! Welcome to my vlogs, and today we will be going to embassy to meet the ambassador, for us to talk to them, to meet their president, to meet our founder Pastor Oksu Park. We are here now in the embassy, so we are entering. we are going back to the center without anything.
I thought I would die that time. Glasses scattered around and blood covered my head. There my heart was broken into pieces and lose all the hopes I had. But that time our branch manager told us, just like the process of blooming of cherry blossom, we need to undergo the difficult and dark winter to see the majestic result. During winter, plants and trees seem dead, leaves are withered, branches are dried and covered by snow. But it is just a process to prepare us for a new and more beautiful beginning. Greener leaves, stronger branches, and flowers are more beautiful and lovelier. Amazingly, with the new hope that we received, we didn't stop and still continue visiting embassies. As a result, the founder of IYF met 8 presidents and prime ministers, and even African ministers. While volunteering, I learned that no matter how difficult my situation is, I should just step forward because there will be beautiful morning that is waiting. Now I am living a life of loving to challenge myself, trying new things, and sharing the precious learning I got as a GNC. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. For me, I already experienced being a GNC. That is why I really recommend it to everyone who is here today. Please join the Goodness Corps Overseas Volunteer Program in order for you to find find the real happiness, and of course find who you really are and who you really need to be and who you will be in the future. So once again, thank you so much. And this time we'll be having our real story time. So for tonight we'll be watching the story that is entitled Happiness Found in Africa by Shin Ju Wei. Let's have it up on the screen, please.
취미가 뭐지? 여기 있다. 내 취미는 선생님 놀이. 엄마, 여기다가 이거 적으면 돼. 선생님. 맞아. 엄마 잘했어.
우리 엄마는 글을 읽지도 쓰지도 못하시는 분이었다. 초등학교에 입학했을 때부터 가정통신문이 나오면 나는 항상 글을 모르는 엄마를 도와 가정통신문을 스스로 이해하고 작성했다. 그리고 우리 집은 가난했다. 엄마는 돈을 벌기 위해 폐지로 죽기 시작하셨고 나는 그런 엄마를 도와 하교 후 늘 함께 폐지를 주우러 다녔다. 엄마! 지혜야! 우와, 오늘 진짜 많이 주웠네? 이 정도면 10,000원은 나오겠다! 그치? 우리 딸 뭐 먹고 싶어? 엄마가 맛있는 거 사줄게. 예인이다! 예인아! 주혜야 안녕. 너 여기서 뭐해? 엄마랑 같이 폐지 줍고 있어. 엄마, 내 친구 예인이야. 안녕하세요. 안녕. 네가 예인이구나. 너가 우리 주혜랑 제일 친하다며? 네. 근데 주혜야, 나 지금 학원에 늦어서 먼저 가볼게. 예인아, 잘 가.
안 내면 진다 가위바위보 가위바위보. 야 주인 좋다. 아니야 다시 해. 아 뭐래. 아니야 너 늦게 냈어. 안 내면 진다 가위바위보 가위바위보. 야싸.
야, 조인, 너 여기서 뭐해? 야, 조인, 왜 대답 안 해?
몰라.
아, 진짜 왜 그러는데?
아이씨. 야 말 걸지 마. 더러워. 짜증나게 쓰레기 묻은 손으로 왜 만지냐고.
뭐? 더럽다고?
그래. 야 신주혜, 너 엄마랑 쓰레기 줍고 다닌다며?
아니야. 누가 그래?
예인이가 더 봤다던데 어쩐지 쓰레기 냄새가 난다 했다. 그치?
그니까 얘들아, 앞으로 얘랑 노는 사람은 거지다. 야, 가자.
아니야. 나 거지 아니라고. 아니라고! 나 거지 아니란 말이야. 학교에서는 내가 엄마와 함께 폐지를 줍는다는 소문이 퍼졌고 친구들은 나를 거지 취급했다. 나는 더 이상 학교에 가기 싫어 결석을 반복했고 유급을 면하기 위해 결국 전학까지 가야 했다.
아니 어제 봤어.
너무 예쁘잖아.
완전 예쁘다. 얼굴이 우유. 근데 그 언니가 갖고 있는 지갑이 더 예쁘더라. 어떡해. 우와, 지갑 예쁘다. 언제 샀어?
우리 아빠가 캘리포니아 갔다가 선물로 사주셨어.
캘리포니아? 진짜? 대박! 너네 아빠 뭐 하시는데?
우리 아빠 대기업 다니시는데 그냥 가끔 이렇게 선물 사다 주셔.
아, 우리 아빠도 출장 나갈 때마다 내 선물 자주 사오시는데.
진짜? 너네 아빠는 뭐 하시는데?
우리 아빠 그냥 강남에서 좀 크게 사업하셔.
강남? 헐, 신주혜 사장님 딸이었네.
대박.
그치 뭐.
와, 나 진짜 대박이다. 완전 부러워. 야, 주혜야, 우리 오늘 너네 집 놀러 가도 돼?
집에? 오늘은 집에 엄마가 손님 있다 그래서 다음에 초대할게.
다음에 꼭 초대해줘.
가난은 나에게 부끄럼과 수치라고 여겨졌고 나의 엄마, 나의 집, 나의 가난을 들키지 않기 위해 더욱더 나를 감추며 살았다. 우리 딸 왔어? 엄마, 오늘 폐지 또 주웠어? 이제 그만 좀 하면 안 돼?
야, 그래도 이걸로 너희들 다 키웠어. 오늘따라 새삼스럽게 왜 그래?
지긋지긋하다 진짜.
지혜야, 엄마가 하고 싶은 말이 엄청 많아. 하루 종일 너만 기다렸는데 아니 왜 그렇게 짜증을 내니?
뭐가?
그건 됐고, 아니 네 오빠 말이야. 생전 그런 적이 없었는데 어제도 돈을 달라고 하더니 오늘 또 달라고 하는 거야. 엄마도 돈 없어 죽겠는데. 아니 뭐 엄마한테 무슨 돈 맡겨놨나? 너 혹시 오빠에 대해서 아는 거 있어?
엄마, 나 피곤해.
아니 그리고 너네 아빠는 요즘 왜 이렇게 술을 많이 마신다니? 주에 네가 아빠 들어오면 뭐라고 한마디 좀 해라. 엄마 말은 하나도 안 들어. 아휴 힘들어.
엄마, 제발 그만 좀 해. 나도 몰라.
엄마 말 아직 안 끝났잖아. 오늘따라 왜 이렇게 짜증을 내, 주혜야. 엄마 아직...
엄마! 그만하라고 했잖아. 나도 스트레스 받는다고.
주혜야.
내가 언제까지 참아야 돼? 하루 이틀도 아니고. 나 엄마 얘기 들을 때마다 숨이 턱턱 막혀.
너 엄마한테
그래? 엄마? 엄마가 언제 나한테 엄마 노릇 한 적이 있어? 나 이제 엄마 따라하기 싫어. 나 이 거지 같은 집에서 계속 살 바엔 그냥 죽어버리고 싶다고! 가난한 집, 글을 모르는 엄마, 학교폭력 당하는 오빠, 매일 술을 마시는 아빠. 이 모든 환경들이 나를 너무 불행하게 만든다고 생각했다. 모든 것에 지쳐있던 때 사촌 언니를 통해 굿뉴스코 페스티벌 공연을 보게 되었고 그중 트루스토리가 내 마음에 와닿았다. 어둠 속에 있던 주인공이 행복해지는 것을 보고 나도 해외 봉사를 가면 저렇게 될 수 있을까 하는 기대에 르완다로 떠나게 되었다.
와, 너무 좋다.
우리가 벌써 이만큼이나 했어.
아 얘들아, 니네는 여기 와서 뭐가 제일 좋았는데? 내는 댄스, 니는?
나는 키즈캠프. 애들이 춤을 따라 추는데 진짜 귀엽더라.
그러게 다 좋더라.
나는 한국어 클래스가 너무 좋았어. 학생들이 한국에 엄청 관심이 많더라고.
아 주혜야, 니는?
나도 다 좋았어. 야, 가은아, 망치 좀 줘봐. 야, 망치 좀 달라니. 다들 어디 갔지?
진짜 배아지가 이제
너희들 어디 갔다 왔어?
간식 먹고 왔지.
근데 왜 나 안 불렀어?
너 아까 옆에서 같이 먹지 않았어?
뭔 소리야? 나 여기서 계속 일하고 있었는데. 너네끼리만 간식 먹은 거야? 내 거는?
헐, 미안해. 진짜 몰랐어.
추야 미안. 이거 내가 먹다 남은 건데. 이거라도 먹을래?
아니야, 괜찮아. 진짜 어이없네. 뭐 이딴 애들이 다 있어?
어머, 어떡하지? 물탱크가 고장나서 물이 하나도 없네? 가서 물 좀 떠와야 될 것 같은데. 얘들아, 그 비상용 물이 2통 있는데 남학생들이 1통 쓰고 여학생들이 1통 쓰자. 응?
얘들아, 우리 가위바위보로 누가 먼저 씻을지 정할까?
좋아. 안 내면 진다. 가위바위보.
얘들아. 나는 그냥 마지막에 씻을게.
오,
신재 멋있다.
그럼 우리 둘이 하자.
좋아. 안 내면 진다. 가위바위보. 아싸. 역시 내가 이길 줄 알았어.
또 졌네. 개운해. 주혜야, 너도 얼른 씻어. 우리 다 씻었다.
나도 찝찝하니까 얼른 씻어야겠다. 야, 너네 물 다 썼어?
아니? 남겼는데?
이게 남긴 거야? 진짜 너네는... 아니다. 2021년 8월 25일. 너무 화가 난다. 물 한 양동이를 나눴어야 되는데 지들이 다 썼다. 이런 애들은 처음 봤다. 아무리 생각해도 나를 무시하는 게 분명하다.
이거 누구 거지?
뭔데? 보자.
야, 주혜야, 우리 얘기 좀 하자.
응? 뭔데?
우리는 너에 대해서 전혀 무시하는 마음도 없었고 아무도 그렇게 생각한 적 없어. 왜 혼자 그렇게 생각해?
그게 무슨 소리야?
주혜야, 난 너가 그런 마음을 가지고 있는 줄 몰랐어. 그리고 네가 그렇게 가난한 집에서 태어난지도
너 그거 어떻게 알았어? 너 혹시 내 일기장 봤어?
아니, 주혜야, 우리가 일부러 본 건 아닌데.
진짜 미안해, 주혜야. 근데 우린 너랑 마음을 나누고
야! 네가 뭔데 그걸 함부로 봐? 그래, 이제 알겠네. 우리 집이 어땠는지. 알고 보니까 내가 불쌍해? 그래서 나 무시했냐? 그래, 나 가난해. 근데 뭐? 너네는 얼마나 잘났는데?
야, 주혜야. 내 말은 그게 아니잖아.
집 짓기 봉사할 때도 나 혼자 죽어라 이라고. 나는 부르지도 않고 니네끼리만 간식 먹고. 야, 물 쓰는 것도 그래. 내가 양보해줬으면 양심껏 써야 되는 거 아니야? 니네 눈엔 내가 안중에도 없지? 내가 너네 맞춰주느라 얼마나 힘들었는데. 그래, 너네끼리 한번 잘 살아봐.
사모님, 주혜 지금 한국 간다고 난리예요.
뭐?
빨리 가보셔야 될 것 같아요.
주혜가 왜? 주혜야, 잠깐만. 갑자기 왜 그래?
이거 놔요.
무슨 일인데? 응? 주혜야, 일단 진정하고 왜 그러는지 말을 해봐.
싫어요. 집에 갈 거예요.
주혜야, 도대체 무슨 일인데? 말을 해줘야 할 거 아니야. 응? 주혜야, 무슨 얘기든 사모님이 다 들을게. 이야기를 해봐.
도대체 뭘 얘기하라는 건데요? 말하면 뭐가 달라져요? 사모님은 저에 대해서 아무것도 모르시잖아요.
그래. 그러니까 네 맘을 좀 털어놔봐. 내가 널 도와주고 싶어서 그래. 뭐든지 다 말해도 좋아. 네가 이야기하고 싶을 때까지 내가 기다려줄게. 응?
우리 엄마는 글씨도 읽을 줄 몰라요. 그게 어떤 기분인지 아세요? 전 우리 가족이 미치도록 부끄러워요. 배지 줍는 엄마 때문에 학교에서는 무시당하고 이런 거지 같은 상황을 숨기느라 매일같이 긴장하고 거짓말하고 제 인생이 너무 비참하다고요. 저 너무 힘들어요.
우리 주혜 정말 힘들었겠구나.
지긋지긋한 현실이 싫어서 해외 봉사에 왔는데 아무것도 달라진 게 없어요. 저는 바뀔 수가 없나 봐요.
아니야, 그렇지 않아. 우리 주혜가 혼자서 많이 외로웠겠다. 이제 괜찮아. 주혜야, 이야기해줘서 고마워. 이야기 잘했어. 주혜야, 그런데 너희 어머니 참 훌륭하시다.
네? 저희 엄마가요?
그래, 그렇게 어려운데 자식을 키우느라 얼마나 고생이 많으셨겠니? 어디에도 기댈 곳 없이 사시면서 얼마나 외로우셨을까. 아마 그런 엄마에게 네가 유일한 친구였을 거야, 그지? 너를 부족함 없이 키우시려고 얼마나 애쓰셨을지 생각해 본 적 있어?
아니요.
주혜야, 내가 너에게 해주고 싶은 이야기가 있어. 우리 르완다에는 두 부족 간의 갈등으로 인한 내전이 있었는데 내가 만난 미켈라라는 친구도 이 일로 인해 부모님을 잃었어. 하루는 내가 미켈라에게 꿈이 뭐냐고 물었더니 군인이 되고 싶다고 얘기를 하더라. 왜 군인이 되고 싶어 했을 것 같아?
잘 모르겠어요.
군인이 돼서 부모님을 죽인 사람을 찾아 원수를 갚고 싶다고 했어. 미켈라의 마음은 부모님을 죽인 사람들에 대한 분노와 복수심으로 가득 차 있었어. 그리고 그런 마음이 그 아이를 점점 더 어둡고 깊은 절망에 빠지게 했지. 그날 나는 미켈라에게 이 말씀을 읽어주었어. 이사야 38장 17절. 여기 한번 읽어볼래?
보옵소서, 내게 큰 고통을 더하신 것은 내게 평안을 주려 하심이라. 주께서 나의 영혼을 사랑하사 멸망의 구덩이에서 건지셨고 나의 모든 죄는 주의 등 뒤에 던지셨나이다.
미켈라가 봤을 때는 자신이 살아온 삶이 고통이었지만 하나님은 이를 통해 미켈라에게 평안을 주려 하신 거야. 미켈라는 이날 구원을 받게 되었고 마음에 하나님의 사랑으로 가득 찼어. 그리고 시간이 지나서 르완다의 최초로 여성 헬리콥터 조종사가 되었단다. 얼마 전에는 많은 사람들에게 복음을 전할 수 있었다며 행복해했어. 주혜야, 과거는 바꿀 수 없지만 미래는 주혜가 어떤 마음을 품고 사느냐에 따라 바뀔 수 있어. 더 이상 과거에 집착하지 말고 하나님의 말씀을 믿기만 하면 너는 이미 행복한 사람인 거야. 그리고 네 이야기로 인해 많은 사람들이 절망에서 벗어나서 소망을 얻게 될 거야.
사모님, 저는 우리 가족 때문에 고통을 받는다고 생각했어요. 그런데 사모님 이야기를 듣고 보니까 고통이 아니라 평안이었네요. 그렇게 내 마음에 평안이 찾아왔다. 내 인생은 늘 절망이라고만 생각했는데 소망이고 행복이라는 것을 발견했다. 이날 이후 나는 누구를 만나든지 이 행복을 이야기했고 내 이야기를 들은 많은 사람들이 변화되었다.
얘들아, 이번에 카연자 마을에서 복음 전하면서 어땠어?
와, 선교사님 진짜 좋았어요.
제가 영어로 복음을 전하는데 마치 원어민같이 영어가 슬슬 나오더라고요.
진짜? 야, 한번 해봐라.
헤이, 헬로.
와, 이제 또 시작이다.
저는 복음을 듣는 그 사람들의 표정을 잊을 수가 없어요. 승기사님 못 보셨죠? 얼굴에서 막 빛이 난다니까요. 반짝 반짝.
아, 그래? 주희는 어땠어?
선교사님, 지금까지 평생 제 속에 갇혀 살았는데 마음 한 번 바꾸고 나니까 너무 행복해요.
야, 주혜야, 너가 행복해하니까 너무 좋다.
얘들아, 그동안 내가 표현을 잘 못했는데 항상 먼저 다가와줘서 고마웠어.
주혜야, 간식만 보면 눈이 돌아가가지고 정신 차리고 보니까 항상 니께 없더라. 미안했디.
주혜야, 어머니 전화 오셨다. 받아봐.
저희 엄마요? 엄마, 웬일이야? 나도 전화하려고 했었는데.
그랬어? 우리 딸이랑 엄마랑 마음이 통했네. 주혜야, 엄마가 너한테 보여줄 게 있다?
뭔데, 엄마?
너 엄마 한글반 다니는 거 알지?
알지.
엄마가 우리 딸한테 편지를 썼거든.
오, 우리 엄마 멋진데?
엄마가 읽어줄게. 보고 싶은 딸에게 우리 딸 잘 지내지? 죄야, 부족한 엄마 밑에서 자라게 해서 미안해. 예쁘게 잘 자라줘서 고마워. 보고 싶다, 우리 딸. 사랑해.
뭐야, 엄마. 주애할 때 어이가 아니라 아이라고 했잖아.
그랬나? 아유, 맨날 배워도 헷갈리네.
엄마는 나 키우면서 언제가 제일 행복했어?
엄마는 우리 주애랑 이렇게 얘기할 때가 제일 행복하지.
엄마, 엄마, 그동안 내가 엄마를 너무 힘들게 했지. 나 사실 지금까지 나밖에 모르고 살았어. 그래서 엄마가 얼마나 나를 힘들게 키웠을지 생각도 못했어. 엄마 울어? 엄마 왜 울어? 엄마, 내가 미안해. 사랑해, 엄마. 해외 봉사 그 1년은 나에게 빛이었다. 고립되어 있던 나의 마음에 모든 절망을 몰아내고 마음을 나누는 행복을 알게 해준 소중한 시간들. 또 처음으로 엄마의 사랑과 감사함을 알게 되었던 그 마음까지. 르완다로 해외 봉사를 온 후 난 진짜 행복을 얻게 되었다. 아니, 난 이미 행복한 사람이라는 것을 발견하게 되었다. 나는 다시 아프리카로 돌아가 이 감사를 많은 사람들에게 나누며 살고 싶다. 감사합니다.
عصفور اثبتنا وجودنا اجتزنا حلول وفينا ورود هلت مسؤول بواجه صعوبات ونتعلم الدرس اللي فات بالفعل ومو بالكلام ايد واحده نرفع الاعلام yes show me proof lead the way we're backing you up your time is now make a move our mission right here is to get the cup of justice get the golden victory receive awards and write down history it's not a mystery it's a goal follow your soul get ready to roll
Yes, thank you so much. And what each year, right after our GNCs went back to their hometowns, therein we are conducting this Good News Corps Festival. So it's like almost the same with our program, which is the Global Camp. And each year as well, they are making their own real stories and they are performing the dances. So those are the things that we watch. And of course, they are making this theme song. And you know what? The GNCs could be assembled or could be described as stars in the sky. Why? Why is it that they are the stars in the night sky? Because like the stars, they are the one who is shining brightly in the dark night, no matter how small they are, but because they have this brightness, but because they have this light inside their hearts, they could be a shine, or they could be a light to other people. They could be a guide to other people. So ladies and gentlemen, our GNCs had prepared a special song to everyone, and it is entitled The Little Stars in the Sky. Ladies and gentlemen, let us listen to this beautiful song.
무엇인가 주려고 떠났던 해외 봉사 1년. 처음엔 두렵기도 했습니다. 주려고 갔던 그곳에서 더 많은 것을 받아 돌아왔습니다. 내가 가진 작은 것을 나눌 때 더 큰 행복이 찾아오는 것을 보았습니다. 이제 우리는 이 행복을 전하는 별들입니다.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways and under, on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm with you here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Now I'm in a whole new world with you.
In this primal feeling, soaring softly, freewheeling through an endless diamond sky, a whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
100,000
Hold your breath, it gets better.
I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far, I can't go back to where
A
I
whole
used
new
to be.
world with your horizons to pursue. I taste it everywhere. There's time to spare. Let me share this whole new world with you. A whole new world. That's where we'll be.
That's where we'll be.
A thrilling chase.
A wondrous place.
Yes, thank you so much, gracious choir. And this time, we will be having our main speaker. I hope that through his message, you could get the real happiness that we would like to inculcate to each and every one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's call on the founder of International Youth Fellowship, and he is also the founder of Good News Corps, Reverend Oksu Park. Let's welcome him with a round of applause, please.
Magandang araw po sa inyo lahat.
캠프가 너무너무 좋지요.
Napakasaya po ng camp natin, di po ba? Sobra po ako nagpapasalamat.
저는 이렇게 나이가 들었지만
Ako po, kahit ako ay matanda na,
그런 것을 느끼지 못합니다.
dahil po sa inyo, hindi ko po nararamdaman na matanda ako.
머리카락이 하얘졌네.
At biglang pag tumingin na lang ako sa salamin, ay maputi na pala ang buhok ko. Ang laki na pala ng tiyan ko.
별로 못 느끼.
Na maliban po doon, hindi ko po talaga ramdam ang katandaan. Magbasa po tayo ng Biblia
14장 66절입니다.
sa Mark chapter 14 verse 66.
찾으셨으면 읽겠습니다.
Kung nahanap niyo na, babasahin po natin. Mark chapter 14 verse 66. At samantalang nasa ibaba si Pedro sa looban ay lumapit ang isa sa mga alilang babae ng dakilang saserdote. At pagkakita niya kay Pedro na nagpapainit ay tinignan niya siya at sinabi, "Ikaw man ay kasama rin ng Nazareno na si Jesus." Datapot siya'y kumaila na sinasabi, "Hindi ko nalalaman ni nauunawa man ang sinasabi mo," at lumabas siya sa portiko at tumilaok ang manok. At nakita siya ng alilang babae at nagpasimulang magsabing muli sa nangaroon, "Ito ay isa sa kanila." Datapot muling ikinaila niya at hindi nalaon, at ang nangaroon ay nagsabing muli kay Pedro, "Sa katotohanan, ikaw ay isa sa kanila, sapagkat ay ikaw ay Galileo." Datapot siya'y nagpasimulang manungayaw at manumpa, "Hindi ko nakikilala ang taong ito na inyong sinasabi." At pagdaka bilang pangalawa ay tumilaok ang manok at naalala ni Pedro ang salitang sinabi ni Jesus sa kanya, "Bago tumilaok ang manok ng makalawa, ay ikakaila mo akong makaitlo." At nang maisip niya ito, ay tumangis siya.
우리가 사는 이 세상은 겨울이 있고 여름이 있죠.
Dito po sa mundo na kinabubuhayan natin, mayroong summer, meron din winter, meron din gabi, at mayroong umaga.
그렇습니다.
Ganon din po ang mundo ng puso
어떤
natin.
것은 내가 정말 자랑하고 싶은 내 것들이 있는가 하면은
May mga bagay sa atin na gusto natin ipagmalaki,
내놓기도
ngunit may mga bagay din na sa sobrang kahihiyan ay ayaw na ayaw po natin malaman ng ibang mga tao.
쉽게 얘기하면 그게 인생이라는 겁니다.
Yun po sa madaling salita ang buhay.
뛰어나고 좋은 부분이 없는 사람은 없습니다.
Wala pong kahit isang tao ang walang anumang kagalingan na mas magaling sa ibang tao.
보이지만 다 좋은 건
Ngunit kahit nagmumukhang maganda ang lahat, hindi naman natin masasabi na lahat sa atin ay maganda. Mayroon din tayo mga kahihiyan, mga kahinaan, at mga bagay na gustong itago. Ako rin po, hanggang 19 years old ako, inisip ko na sobrang pangit ko at sobrang masama akong tao. Maliit na nga ako, hindi din maganda yung itsura ko, malaki lang yung bibig
내가
ko.
하도 봐서 잘 모르지만 옛날에는 전 입밖에 없었어요 얼굴에.
Ngayon, ewan ko, nasanay na siguro ako sa itsura ko, pero dati, kung tingnan yung litrato ko, bibig lang yung nakikita.
내 시골에 지게 이렇게 들어가는 그거 봐 입이 크다고 그렇게.
Sinasabi ng lagi akong inaasar ng mga kaibigan ko na napakalaki ng bibig ko daw.
1, 2, 3학년 때는 이름이 옥수라서 늘 내 친구들 노래를 잘 불렀어요.
Tapos nung grade 1, 2, 3 ako, dahil Oksu yung pangalan ko, lagi akong kinakantahan ng mga kaibigan ko.
이야기 노래해서 기찻길 옆 옥수수밭.
Sa taniman ng mais, sa tabi ng tren, may mais, kasi yung Oksu ay mais sa Korea. Kaya sinabi nila na ang mais ay lumalaki na mabuti sa tabi ng tren. Kaya nung bata po ako, tinuruan ko po lahat ng mga kaibigan kong kumanta dahil sa pangalan ko. Kaya po ako balang araw ay nag-found nga ng isang choir mismo. Lumipas po ang maraming panahon. Hindi lang po lumipas ang panahon. Meron po isang bagay na pinasasalamatan ko.
4년이나 한 5년 전에 내가 이
Siguro kung ako po ay sumakabilang buhay mga 4 years, 5 years ago,
그때 내가 굉장히 슬픈 가운데서 떠났을
noon siguro ako po ay namatay sa gitna ng kalungkutan.
최근에 제가 한번 죽는다고 생각한다면
Recently, kung inisip ko ang tungkol sa kamatayan, sobra pong laki ng pasasalamat ko.
목사님들은요.
Ang mga pastor po kasi ng simbahan natin, hindi na po lahat,
세계 어디에 내놔도 조금 더 손색이
ngunit saan man sila patayuin, sa anong panig man ng mundo ay wala silang kahit konting pagkukulang.
전 세계 기독교 지도자들 가장 부러워하는 목사님.
Sila ay naging pastor na kinaiingitan ng lahat ng mga Christian leaders sa buong mundo. Nung ako po ay pumunta sa Amerika, sa southern part ng US, ako po ay nagkaroon ng Bible conference.
큰 교회 목사님들이 우리 교회 목사님 보고 막
At mga pastor ng malalaking mga simbahan sa Amerika ay sobrang nagulat po nang makita ang mga pastor natin.
전에 우리가 그저 뭡니까 크리스마스 칸타타도 정말 그 이룬 걸 너무
This time, nagkaroon tayo ng Christmas cantata sa Houston. Yun din po ay isang malaking himala.
분유스 미션의 목사님들 30살 된 사람들입니다.
Kasi yung mga misyonaryo sa Amerika, sa kasalukuyan, ay mga past 30s pa lang. Pero sa Amerika daw sa kasalukuyan ay mahirap daw makahanap ng pastor below 50 years old. Ibig sabihin, in just 20 years time, mauubos daw ang pastor sa Amerika. Pero sa simbahan natin, napakabatang mga binatang mga pastor na kaabot pa lang ng 30 anyos.
미국 목사님 나한테 그런 이야기예요.
Nung nagkaroon ng Christmas cantata, sinabi po ng mga US pastors sa akin,
원래는 크리스마스 칸타타를 코로나 때문에
this year
못한다고
kasi,
생각하고
inakala namin na hindi maaari magkaroon ng offline Christmas cantata dahil sa COVID. E inisip ko, paano kaya natin ito ipapakita? Kaya gumawa po tayo ng pelikula na pinamagatang For Unto Us.
미국의 남부 지방에 있는 목사들이 몇 명이 있었어요.
Mayroon ilang mga pastor sa southern part of US, sa Albuquerque, El Paso, San Antonio, at sa Houston.
목사님들이
Ang mga pastor sa apat na lugar na ito ay nag-isip,
크리스마스 칸타타라면 너무 좋을 텐데
sana magkaroon din tayo ng Christmas cantata.
사람들이 생각을 해봤어요.
Kaya nag-isip po ang mga taong ito.
러시아서 합창단 단장에게 전화를 했어요.
Kaya tumawag sila sa conductor ng Crash's Choir.
가능하냐고
Gusto po namin mag-host ng kantata. Posible po ba?
할 수 있다는 거예요.
Pwede
안
raw.
되지만
Kahit hindi lahat,
엘버쿠키 다음에 엘페소, 샌앤토니오, 휴스턴 4개 도시에서 칸타타.
kaya sa Albuquerque, El Paso, San Antonio, Houston, sa apat na syudad na host po ng Christmas cantata. Nang pumunta kami sa Houston,
휴스턴이 그 목사님이 박상득 목사인데
ang pangalan ng pastor sa Houston ay Park
그
Song-deuk.
목사가 이야기를 해요.
Ito si Pastor Park Song-deuk ay nagkwento.
크리스마스 가까이 돼서
Dahil late na po kami nagsimula at malapit na po magpasko, kaya nahirapan po kami maghanap ng venue.
제일 마지막에 하나 남아 있는 게
Ang pinakahuli na lang pong natitira ay Toyota Center.
미국에서 제일 크고
At sa Amerika, ang pinakamalaki at pinaka-eleganteng center ay ang Toyota Center.
의자가 10,000개나 돼요.
At mayroon po silang 10,000
그
seats.
하루 전에 빌리는 비용이
At ang rental fee sa isang gabi ay $120,000. So may mga 6.2 million sa Pilipinas sa isang gabi lang.
박성덕 목사가 그걸
Itong si Pastor Pak Song-teuk, nakipagkontrata po siya doon.
성도들 한 25명 되는데
Mga 25 lang po yung mga kapatiran nila. Kaya hirap na hirap silang nagbayad ng deposit.
미국에 있는 모든 목회자들에게 크리스마스 칸타타 이야기를 했어요.
At saka ipinalam niya sa lahat ng mga pastor sa Amerika na magkakaroon ng Christmas cantata.
이야기를 들으면서
Ano narinig ng mga pastor, ang balitang ito, ay, pwede ba natin gawin niya ngayong taon? Opo, pwede. Sobra po silang natuwa.
그 가까운 분들이 그 구원받은 목사님들이 많아가지고
Marami po mga ligtas na pastor kasi sa paligid nila, kaya nagtanong po sila,
정말 그 대관료가 얼마냐?
magkano po yung rental fee na binayad ninyo? Sinabi po nila ang amount na sinabi ko kanina.
어떻게 그 돈을 마련했냐?
Nabayaran niyo na po ba lahat? Paano ninyo mababayaran yun?
죄송하지만 말을 못하고 계약금은 했다.
Kaya hindi niya nasabi lahat. Sinabi niya lang, nabayaran na po yung deposit. Kaya lahat ng mga pastor na ito, bigla nilang sinulat. Hinugot yung mga cheque niya at nagsimulang magbigay. Pero kahit ganoon, marami pa rin ang kinulang para bayaran ito. Pero ang sobrang ikinagulat ng mga taong ito, ang mga pastor ng Good News Mission, wala na silang pera. Pero paano sila nakaka-host na ganitong mga gawain sa pananampalataya? Kaya later on, sa pamagitan ng iba't ibang mga tao, napuno ang mga pera na kinailangan nila hanggang sa nabayaran nila ito lahat. Ngayon, ang problema naman, paano pupunuin ang 10,000 seats? Yun po ay hindi ordinaryong kahirapan. Kung marami pong mga pastor na naligtas, isinama nila ang lahat ng mga kapatiran ng simbahan nila. At ang balitang ito ay umabot po hanggang sa Mexico. Noong araw na yon, sobra daw po naging traffic ang daan mula Mexico papuntang Houston. Yung Road 59 at Road 77, halos nabarataw sa traffic. Sobrang daming mga tao ang nagmaneho mula sa Mexico para manood. Marami po sa kanila ang kinailangan umuwi. Dahil ang 10,000 seater ay napuno ng punong-puno. Ay, pasensya na po. Okay lang po. At least nakarating po kami dito.
미국의 목사님들이 저한테 그런 얘기를 해요.
Ang mga pastor sa Amerika ay nagkukwento sa akin.
미션의 목사 어떻게 교육을 시키냐고.
Paano niyo po ba tinatrain ang mga pastor ng Good News Mission? Sobra po sila nagkugulat.
선교의 목회자들이 세계 최고의 목회자.
Ang mga pastor po ng mission natin ay ang mga pinakadakilang pastor sa buong mundo. Hindi lang po natin ito nahalata dahil kasama natin sila araw-araw. Ngunit, sino mang pastor sa Amerika ang hindi tulad ng mga pastor natin? Lahat po sila ay napayuko sa harapan natin. Minsan, pag ako po'y dumadalaw doon, ako po'y nagsasalita sa mga mega church doon. Ako po, hindi naman po ako nakatayo sa pulpito. Dala-dala ng mic, tumatakbo ako pa rito pa roon. At habang kinakausap ko yung mga nasa audience, kinakamayan ko rin sila. Tapos ang puso nila lahat ay nagbubukas. This time, pupunta po ako sa Israel. Kasi sa Africa, kasi sa southern part, hindi pa po ako nakadalaw. Hanggang last week, may ilang mga pastor po ang pumunta sa Africa. At sila po ay naghahanda ng meeting with the president ng maraming bansa at mga first lady at mga minister. Ang mga pastor ng Good News Mission, sila po ay mga dakilang pastor na walang sino man ang makatatalo saan mang panig ng mundo. Hindi naman po lahat. Mayroon din mga mahihina sa kanila at mayroon din pong tinatrain pa rin hanggang ngayon. Pero sobrang pong kahangahangan, ako ay nakapagtrabaho kasama ng mga ganitong
제
mga
아들도
pastor.
그 속에 들어있고
At yung anak ko ring lalaki ay kasama nila, pati yung pamangkin ko ay nandun. At yung aking apo din po ay lumalaki na din para maging ganon.
합창단이 부르는 합창은
At ang choir music na inaawit ng ating choir
따라올 수 있는 그런 합창단.
ay mga musika na hindi masusunod na anumang choir sa buong mundo.
IYF를 시작할 때
Nung nagsimula tayo ng IYF,
올지 영화를 봤겠지만은
tulad po napanood ninyong true story kanina,
아이들이 새 엄마하고 새 아빠하고
yung mga bata, habang kasama nila ang kanilang stepfather o kaya stepmother,
아버지 챙기 아이들 그 마음이었는데
ang pinakaunang bumubunggo sa puso nila ay ang conflict sa puso.
너무 많은 상처가
Ngunit ito po kasi ay nagdudulot ng napakaraming sukat sa puso. Kahit parehong ina, hindi ko alam kung bakit ganun ang mga stepmother.
같은 아빠인데 새 아빠는
Kahit parehong tatay, hindi ko alam kung bakit ganun kasama ang mga stepfather.
아들이 자기 아버지를 생각하면 새 엄마한테
Yung anak na lalaki,
많은 걸
para sa kapakanan ng tatay niya, ay hindi niya masabi-sabi sa kanyang stepmom. Pero maraming mga bagay ang kailangan tiisin ng mga anak sa ilalim ng kanilang mga step-parents. Kung isipin niya ang kanyang nanay, hindi alam niya na hindi niya pwedeng basta-bastahin ang stepfather niya. Kaya kahit anong mangyari ay tinitiis na lang nila. Habang ganun, ang puso nila ay nagkakaroon ng maraming mga sukat.
정도로 그들의 상처가 컸어.
Ang sukat nila sa puso nila ay sobrang laki na ito ay kumikirot.
젊은 아이들 그 상처를 어떻게 씻어주지?
Paano ko kaya malilinis ang sugat sa puso ng mga kabataang ito? Paano ko kaya mahihimas ang puso ng mga ito?
음악 합창단을 시작했어요.
Kaya kami po ay nagsimula ng isang music choir.
데리고 제가 쌍빼뜨로
Sa simula, dala-dala ng choir na ito, pumunta po kami sa St. Petersburg sa Russia para matuto ng vocalization.
밝아지는데
At unti-unti ang kanilang musika ay gumanda.
저들이 공연할 때 지휘자
Isang araw, nung nagkaroon kami ng concert sa Opera House sa Australia, hindi po kami nagkaroon ng conductor.
가까워졌어요.
Pero dahil naging close po kami ng St. Petersburg Conservatory,
한명 보내달라고 얘기해.
kaya sinabi ko, pwede niyo po ba kami padalhan ng isang conductor? At doon po dumating si Professor Boris Abalyan.
그분은
Ako po ay nabiyahan ng Diyos dahil ang conductor na yon ay world's best conductor.
예. 그분이 처음에 우리 호주로 오페라 하우스
Nung umpisa, dumating po siya sa Australia's Sydney Opera House. Tapos, yung anak ko kasi noon ang director ng choir. Sabi ng anak na babae ko, Tay, alis na po ako, papagalitan po kasi kami. Kaya sinabi ko po,
미화 솔라시도 도 해봐라.
sinabi niya, okay, 도레미 파 솔라 시도, everyone please sing do.
합창 처음에 도 했어요.
Kaya lahat ng mga choir members, kumanta sila do.
지휘자 그 도가 아니다.
Sabi ng conductor, hindi po yan do. Ay, do po yung sinabi namin. Hindi po kami nag-re. Hindi kami nag-mi. Do yung kinanta namin.
정확하게 저도 그때 알았는데.
For the first time, ko rin po natutunan na
442로 해라, 444로 해라 그는.
pagka nagtutune daw ng piano, please tune it to 442 or 444 cycle.
때 기본 음이
Pagka ina-adjust daw kasi yung tono, ang pinaka-basic tone ay dapat daw 442 cycles o kaya 444.
길을 가진 사람들은
Pero ang mga taong may ordinaryong tenga,
12하고 400
hindi nila ma-distinguish ang 442 at 444.
몇백 분의 1이기 때문에.
Dahil ito ay 1 in a hundreds.
도 하나 도 해요.
Ay pag sinabi sa choir na mag-do kayo, do, nagtuto sila. Ngunit ang tenga ng conductor na ito ay sobrang maselan. Hindi po do yan. Kaya natulala yung mga choir members kasi siguradong do yung kinanta nila. Pero sabi niya hindi daw do yun. Hindi daw po yun do.
음을 같이 하려고 하면은
Para mag-harmonize ang boses ng choir, hindi po kailangan na maganda ang boses nila. Kundi ang tenga nila ay kailangan maging sobrang matalas. 442 cycles. At 444 cycles. Halos hindi po ito magkaiba. Kaya ang training para ma-distinguish ang dalawang ito ay patuloy-tuloy nilang ginawa.
도시에 가서 캠프 칸타타를 했는데
Isang araw pumunta po kami sa isang siyudad kung saan naka-headquarters ang Mormons. Sinabi ng MC, let's welcome the world's best choir. Kaya yung Tabernacle Choir ng Mormon ay tumawa lahat. Kasi kami ang world's best choir.
청하고 그라시아도 비교가 안 돼.
Ang Mormon Choir at ang Gracious Choir ay hindi po pwede makumpara. At nung narinig nila ang awitin ng Gracious Choir, lahat ng Mormon Choir ay biglang tumahimik.
시작할 때
Nung kasisimula pa lang po namin, 2009 sa Jeju International Choir Competition, kami po ay nakatanggap ng grand prize. At noong 2011 naman, sa Busan International Choir Festival ay nanalo na naman ng grand prize. At ito both ay naganap po sa Korea. Pero noong 2014 naman, sa Italy, nanalo sila ng grand prize sa Liber de Garda na choir competition. At the same year, sa Swiss Monterrey competition, nanalo na naman sila ng grand prize. At noong 2015 naman, sa Germany, Mark Dovodov choir competition, sila ay nakatanggap ng grand prize.
세계 국제 합창대회 아직 한 번도 2등을
Kaya ang Gracious Choir hanggang ngayon ay hindi pa po nakatanggap ng second place sa anumang international choir competition. Kaya ang buong mundo po ay nagulat. Ako po, kung marinig ko ang musika nila, sobra pong misteryoso ang boses nila. Paano lumalabas ang ganyang tunog?
이제 우리 그 방수 단장이 된 뒤로
Pagkatapos maging conductor ni Conductor Unsuk Park, pinalitan nila yung vocalization nila. Ang pinaka kinahihirapan ng mga choir members ay ang pagpapalit ng vocalization kasi itapon ninyo lahat ng style ninyo hanggang ngayon. Kailangan natin matuto ulit ng bago. Recently, ang natutunan nila ay sinabi na kailangan daw nila umawit na hindi gumagamit ng vocal cord. Usually, pagka tayo nagkakaroon ng conference, kasi yung conductor ay tumitira sa bahay namin. 6 a.m. pa lang umalis na siya ng bahay. Yung ibang mga choir, baka daw masira yung boses nila, kaya hanggang tanghalian ay hindi po sila pinapakanta. Pero sa lumalabas ng alas 6 ng umaga at kakain ng agahan doon sa stadium, at saka hanggang sa magsimula ang morning session, walang pahinga na patuloy silang magpa-practice. At pagkatapos ng tanghalian, hanggang sa gabi na naman ay patuloy silang magpa-practice. At pagkatapos ng conference, pag uwi sa bahay, mga 11 p.m. na. Kaya sa larangan ng musika, sila ay naglalabas ng tunog na hindi man lang ma-imagine ng anumang choir sa buong mundo. Ang mga tao ay sobrang nagugulat. Ako po, ay wala pong kahit anumang kagalingan. Ang mga pastor sa simbahan namin, hindi naman po lahat, pero nagugulat ang mga pastor ng ibang simbahan. Tapos sa southern part ng Amerika, marami pong mga pastor doon ang kasangga namin. Nagtataka sila, paano nabubuhay ang mga ganyang kabatang mga pastor sa pananampalataya? Especially sa Houston. Nung narinig nila yung pag-host ng kantata nila doon. Yung mga pastor ng mga megachurch doon ay sobrang natatouch. Marami pong mga pastor ang nakita namin sa buong mundo. Ngunit wala pong mga pastor tulad ng mga pastor sa mission natin. Siyempre, hindi naman po lahat ay ganoon. Mayroon din pong ilang mga taong hindi po ganoon. Pero talagang kahit saan pumunta ang mga pastor na ito, saan man sila pumunta, hindi natin masabi na masasakop nila, pero sobra po ako nagpasalamat. Kung isipin ko po ito, tuwing nakikinig ako ng musika ng choir, wow, sobra po ako nagpapasalamat sa Diyos. Hindi po makakasunod ang anumang choir. Siguro kung sila ay umawit na lang ng mga pop songs, siguro tataob kami lahat.
하나님이 저들을 하고 있는 이 복음 자체도
Itong ebanghelyo rin po na ating pinapangaral.
많은 교회 목사님들 깜짝깜짝
Itong content din po ng sermon natin, marami mga pastor sa buong mundo ang sobrang nagkukulat.
살수 있을 것 같아요.
Dahil malusog po ako ngayon, sa tingin ko mabubuhay pa po ako ng ilang taon. Pero hindi ko pa po alam kung kailan ako mamamatay.
지금 죽으면
Pero kung mamatay ako ngayon, mamamatay po ako nakangiti. Bakit po ba?
우리의 좋은 목사님들
Dahil marami mga mabubuting pastor ng simbahan natin. Siguro mga few years ago, mula ngayon nung ako po ay kinakasuhan, talagang marami po mga masasamang pastor ang nasa simbahan natin noon.
저를 뭐 박옥수나 구형을 낮춰
Kasi sabi nila, kailangan pong bawasan ang sentensya ni Pastor Park. May mga pastor na nagsabi ng ganoon.
구형 아무도 모른다 그러면 구형 내가 범죄했다.
Ano ibig sabihin ng bawasan ng sentensya? Ibig sabihin, sumasang-ayon din siya na ako ay nagkasala.
왜 그 사람 도망갔지만
Kaya siya ay tumakas na ngayon.
진짜 세상이 막 근데 지금 저희들 목회자 참 물론
Pero talaga ang buong mundo, siyempre, hanggang ngayon mayroon pa rin pong mga pastor na nagkukulang pa rin.
어디서 볼 수 없는 귀한 목회자.
Pero ang mga napakamahal na mga pastor na hindi natin mahanap saan man sa mundong ito ay nasa mission natin. Ako po ay walang masyadong ginagawa. Ako ay nagsasalita lamang.
모든 걸 다 관리해 나.
Yung mga pastor na yon ang nagbabahala sa lahat ng nangyari sa simbahan natin. At kung makita ko ang mga nangyaring ito, sobra po nagpapasalamat. Si Pastor Iminsol, nakatira po siya sa Pusan. Pero dumarating siya dyan sa second floor sa maliit na kwartong yan. Diyan nila ginagabay ang lahat ng gawain ng buong simbahan, buong mission natin. Tapos sa gabi umuwi siya, tapos uuwi na lang siya para mag-Sunday service, tapos babalik na naman madaling araw. Sobra po ako nagpasalamat this time kasi pumunta muna ako sa Israel para pumunta sa Africa, kaya lahat sila ay nauna na pumunta doon para i-set ang schedule, para i-decide ang lahat ng mga appointment natin. Sila po ay sobrang busy mga tao, kaya sobra po ako nagpasalamat. Talagang para sa ebanghelyo, sobrang nagsasakripisyo, hindi man lang sila nakatulong na mabuti, hindi man sila kumakain ng maayos, sobrang ganda ang buhay nila. Pero ang importante po ay ang mga mahal ng mga manggagawang ito ay paano po ba nabuo? Ang choir po natin ay world's best. Ang mga pastor din po natin ay world's best. Hindi lang po yun. Pati ang mga kapatiran sa simbahan natin ay world's best. Ngayon, simula ng second half ng taon na ito, sobrang dami po mga pastor ang gumagaya na ng aking sermon. May mga pastor na gumagaya ng sermon ko sa pamagitan ng Good News Magazine at nagsisermon sa pamagitan ng libro ko. Meron po isang brother na nagsabi sa akin, Pastor, ako po ngayon ay nagba-broadcast gamit ng libro ninyo. Good job. Kung basahin mo yun at matutunan mo yun, sa iyo na yun. Okay lang talaga, seryoso. Very good, very good. Ang buong mundo ay ngayon tumitingin sa Korea. Sa loob lang ng ilang taon, naniniwala kami na ang lahat ng Kristyanismo sa Korea ay makikisama sa atin. Habang nagsisimba ang pagsasabi ng makasalanan, dito po talaga ay isang malaking pagkakamali. Dahil pag sinasabi makasalanan, halos lahat kasi ng mga simbahan sa Korea ay makasalanan pa rin. Si Pastor Yonggi Cho, bago daw siya sa makabilang buhay, ay nanaginip daw siya. Siya ay nanaginip, nakita niya daw ang sarili na nasa impyerno. At nung siya ay nagsisi daw, ay umakyat siya sa langit. Nonsense po ito. Bakit po ba? Dahil hindi siya nagbabasa ng Biblia. Sa Biblia, may kwento ng mayaman at si Lazaro. Sinabi ng mayaman kay Lazaro na patakan siya ng isang patak lang ng tubig sa dulo ng tila niya. Pero alam niyo po ba kung ano sinabi ni Abraham? Hindi kami makakapunta doon o makakapunta ka mula dyan parito. Pupunta sa impyerno, tapos nung nagsisi, umakyat sa langit. Kung ganun, sino ang hindi magsisisi sa impyerno? At sino ang mananatili sa impyerno kung ganoon? Pagkarinig ko ng kwentong iyon, Sobra po ako nalungkot. Ganito pala ang itsura ng simbahan sa Korea ngayon. Gamit ang mga magagandang salita lang nila ginagabay ang mga tao. Ngayon sa Korea, nagsisimula na magkaroon ng mga pastor na nangangaral ng katotohanan. Saka in the future sa Amerika o sa ibang mga bansa, nais po namin silang punuin ng ebanghelyo. Ang Diyos po ay gumagamit ng talagang mga walang kwentang kabuluhang mga tao upang gamitin para sa gawain ng Diyos. Sobra po ang nagpapasalamat. Kaya itong world's best gospel, world's best faith, itong world's best pastors, itong world's best members. Gaano po ba kalaking pasasalamat ito? Hindi ko po masabi lahat. Ang binasa po natin ngayong gabi ay kung paano ba gumagawa si Jesus ng world's best pastors. Si Pedro po, nang si Jesus ay hinuli sa Gethsemane, lahat ng mga tao ay tumakas. Pero si Pedro ay hindi po tumakas at mula sa malayo, sinundan niya si Jesus. At sa bahay ng dakilang sacerdote, dinala si Jesus sa loob. Ganoon, si Juan din po ay sumama. Si Juan kasi ay kaibigan ng dakilang sacerdote noon. Pero si Pedro din ay sumama, pero dahil mayroong isang babae doon na nagbabantay, kaya hindi siya pinapasok. Kaya dumating si Juan, tapos pinakiusapan niya yung babae nagbabantay. Ay, kaibigan ko siya, pwede po ba siya pumasok? Kaya ganun po pumasok si Pedro. Pero nang siya'y dumaan sa harapan ng tagabantay ng pinto, ay teka lang, alagad po ito ni Jesus ah. Ano po ba ang sabi ni Jesus? Ay, hindi ko po kilala kung sino yan. Nagsinungaling siya. Saka habang nagpapainit sila sa apoy sa loob, oy, ikaw yung alagad ni Jesus eh. Hindi ko siya kilala. 3 beses niyang pinagkaila si Jesus. At saka, ang manok ay tumilaw. Sinabi kasi ni Jesus harapan ng mga alagad na pagkakaila mo akong 3 beses bago tumilaw kang manok. Pagkarinig niya ng tilaok ng manok, naalala niya ang sinabi ni Jesus na ipagkakailan niya si Jesus ng 3 beses bago tumilaw ang manok, siya lumabas at tumangis. Jesus, bakit po ba kayo Si Jesus ay napako sa krus at nang siya ay nabuhay muli pagkalipas ng 3 araw, habang ang mga disipulo ay nakatipon sa isang bahay, ang pintuan ay nakasarado noon pero dumating si Jesus kaya nagulat po sila. Nang si Jesus ay nag-resurrect at ipinakita niya ang butas ng pako sa kamay niya at ng sibat sa tagiliran niya, ngayon si Pedro ay dapat mabilis na tumakbo. Ay naku, Jesus, bunabuhay po pala kayo. Pero hindi po ito nagawa ni Pedro. Dahil 3 beses niya ipinagkaila si Jesus. Kaya wala man lang siyang masabi na nakayuko na lang doon. Pagkatapos umalis ni Jesus, inisip po ni Pedro, anong klaseng disipulo ako ni Jesus? Hindi ako, hindi. Anong klaseng disipulo ako ni Jesus? 3 beses ko siya pinagkaila. Sobra po siyang nasaktan. Hindi ako alagad ni Jesus. Ako ay mangingisda lang. Aalis na lang ako para mangisda ng isda. Kaya siya po ay bumalik ng dagat ng Galilea para mangisda. Ay, yung mga alagad ay sumunod sa kanya, oy Pedro, kahit naman, kailangan pa rin natin maglingkod para sa Ebanghelyo. Pero walang kasi nung umawat sa kanya, lahat din sila ay nagsialisan para manghuli ng isda. Ng isang araw, ay wala silang mahuli kahit isang isda. At si Jesus, no madaling araw ay dumating. May isda ba? Wala po. Ihagis niyo ang lambat sa kanan ng bangka ninyo. Nang hinagis sila ang lambat sa kanan ng bangka, sila ay nakahuli ng maraming isda. Ano nakita ni Pedro? Si Jesus pala yun. Kaya si Pedro ay lumangoy at saka dumating sa kanya. Pagdating niya, mayroong nagsiga siya ng apoy at mayroong tinapay na nakaluto at pagkain na naghihintay. Kaya si Pedro at si Jesus ay umupo at kumain sila ng agahan. Pagkatapos sila kumain ng agahan, tinanong po ni Jesus, Simon, anak ni Juan, iniibig mo ba ako higit sa lahat ng mga tao na nandito? Si Pedro, kahit anong tingin niya, iniibig niya talaga si Jesus eh. Tayo po. Tulad ni Pedro, lahat po tayo ay may mga kahihiyan. Ewan ko kung si Samuel ay walang ganun. Ewan ko po Lahat tayo ay punong-puno ng kahihiyan. Kahit ito ay kinakalimutan lang natin, pero si Pedro dahil sa 3 beses ang pagkakaila kay Jesus, kahit sila ay kumakain nga, hiyang-hiya siyang tumingin kay Jesus. At tinanong ni Jesus si Pedro, Simeon, anak ni Juan, iniibig mo ba ako higit sa lahat ng mga tao na nandito? Sinabi ni Jesus. Sigurado kasi nasa puso niya mayroon siyang pag-ibig tungkol kay Jesus. Kaya ako, ang isang simbahang ligtas, nalaman ko na paglipas ng mga 40 taon, ang ebanghelyo ay lumalabo. Ganun po halos lahat ang nangyari sa kasaysayan ng Kristyanismo. Si John Wesley ay nangaral na ebanghelyo sa England at talaga nagkahanga-hanga ang kasaysayan nila. At doon po nagsimula ang Methodist Church. Pero paglipas sa 40 taon, lahat sila ay nagbago na bilang mga ordinaryong simbahan ulit. Kaya ako po, upang ang simbahan natin ay hindi maging tulad ng mga simbahan yaon, from 40 years ago ay nagsimula na po akong umaway at lumaban ng mga pastor natin. Pero sobra kong binasasalamatan na hanggang ngayon, ang ebanghelyo po natin ay nabubuhay pa rin sa mission natin. Ngayong umaga, sinabi ko po sa mga kapatiran ng simbahan namin, isang araw po sa Sabado, tayo po ay mag-fasting. Kaya marami po mga kapatiran dumating sa umaga. Akala ko mga 20 o 30 lang yung darating. Kaya kami po ay nagsimula sa 2nd floor. Pero sa sobrang dami yung mga tao ang bumisita, kaya hindi po kami nakaupo lahat sa 2nd floor. Kaya kami po ay lumipat sa basement, 2nd floor. Tapos doon po kami nagkaroon ng prayer meeting sa P3. Sobra pong kaibig-ibig ang mga miyembro namin. Lahat sila ay busy. Kaya dumating na sila ng maaga. Nagkaroon po kayo ng prayer meeting. At pagkalipas ng alas 4, pagkatapos ng prayer meeting, pinauwi po namin sila sa bahay. Ang mga kapatiran po namin ay sobrang mahal. Sobrang mahalaga. Ang world's best members ng simbahan natin, ang mga world's best pastors, ang mga world's best truth. Sa US talaga, yung mga pastor ng mega church doon, sobrang matatanda. Nung nakikita nila yung mga pastor natin na nasa 30s pa lang, sobra po silang nagulat. This time sa US, sila po ay nagpaplano para bumili ng isang malaking building bilang mission center natin sa Manhattan. Halos lahat ng mga batang pastor sa Amerika natin ay bumibili po ng chapel. Hindi ko po alam dati kung paano sila bumibili. So this time, nung narinig ko kung paano bumili ng chapel si Pastor Chong De Chol ng Denver, parang ako ay nananaginip sa kwento. Ang mga kwentong ito, pagka narinig ng mga kapastoran sa Amerika, sila po ay sobrang nagugulat. Ang Diyos ay ganito pa pinapaganda ang simbahan namin. Dala-dala ng ebanghelyo. Ako po in the future, dahil matanda na ako, siguro hindi na ako isasama. Pero in the future, ang mga pastor na ito, sana po maingatan nilang ebanghelyo na ito for another 40 years. And then after 40 years, yung mga susunod na pastor naman ay magtutuloy na naman dito. Hanggang sa pagdating ni Jesus, kung maingatan po natin ang ebanghelyong ito, kaano po kaya kahanga-hanga ito? Dito po eksaktong nakasulat ang proseso kung paano maging pastor. Tinanong ni Jesus kay Pedro habang sila ay kumakain. Tinanong ni Jesus pagkatapos silang kumain, Simon, anak ni Juan, iniibig mo ba ako? Higit sa lahat ng mga tao na nandito? Sinagot po ni Pedro, alam niyo po, Panginoon, na iniibig kita. 3 beses pinagkaila ni Pedro si Jesus. At yun po ang sobrang bumagabag sa puso niya. 3 beses kong pinagkaila si Jesus, anong klaseng alagad ako? Pero tinanong ni Jesus, iniibig mo ba ako? Higit sa lahat ng mga tao na nandito. Iniisip ni Jesus, totoo naman talaga na iniibig niya si Jesus. Hindi niya ito matanggihan. Pero, ano ba ang sinabi ni Jesus para sa kanya? Feed my sheep. Ibig sabihin, maging pastor ka. Sa isang taon, 3 beses, dininay si Jesus? Si Pedro, sa sobrang pagkatouch, hindi niya alam kung anong gagawin niya. At yun po ay tinanong ng 3 beses sa kanya. Simon, anak ni Juan, inibig mo ba ako higit sa lahat ng mga tao na nandito? Simon, anak ni Juan, iniibig mo ba ako higit sa lahat ng mga tao na nandito? Si Pedro, kahit 3 beses niya nga pinagkaila si Jesus, ang pag-ibig niya kay Jesus ay kahit sino ang pumigil sa kanya, hindi ito mabura-bura sa kanya. Ako rin po, nung kasisimula ko pa lang ng pangangaral ng Ebanghelyo, madalas po ako nagnakaw ng mga mansana sa bukid ng iba, tapos ako po ay nagsinungaling at nagnakaw. Ang puso ko pa ay sobrang nahirapan noon. Pero sinabi ni Jesus sa akin, pastulin mo ang tupa ko. Alam niyo po ba kung anong nangyari sa puso ni Pedro? Panginoon, sa taong tulad ko, gusto niyong pakainin ko ang tupa ninyo? Sa taong tulad ko, pinapapastol niyo ang tupa ninyo? Madalas ko rin po sinabi, Panginoon, bakit ako pa po ang itinalaga niyong pastor? Bakit ako pa po? Marami pong mga taong mas magaling sa akin. Maraming mas matalino sa akin. Maraming mga taong mas maganda ang ugali sa akin. Mga matatangkad at mga cool na tao. Marami pong mga takilang tao. Mga kaibigan yon, pag sila ang tumayo sa pulpito at magmensahe, gaano po ba ito kaganda tignan? Kung sila ang mga ministro, gaano kaya magiging warm ang simbahan? Bakit po kasi ako pa na sobrang maselan ang pinili ninyo? Si Pedro, sabi, ano po? Pakainin po ang pastor ninyo sa taong tulad ko? Baka nagkamali lang ako ng narinig. Pero si Jesus 3 beses. Juan, Simon na anak ni Juan, iniibig mo ba ako higit sa lahat ng mga nandito? Sa puso ni Pedro, siguradong hindi niya matanggihan ang pag-ibig niya kay Jesus. Opo, alam niyo po na inibig ko kayo. Ngayong araw din, sa lahat ng mga tagapakinig natin, tinatanong po ni Jesus sa atin, iniibig mo ba ako higit sa lahat ng mga tao na nandito? Hindi po kay Pedro nagsasalita si Jesus, kundi sa atin ngayon sa panahon natin. Dahil sa sobrang pangit natin, sobrang kulang natin,
내가 주의 복음을 전할 자격이 없고
na hindi tayo karapat-dapat mangaral ng ebanghelyo ng Diyos, hindi tayo karapat-dapat maging disipulo ng Diyos, na maging alagad ng Diyos.
이 목소리가 예수님의 목소리 맞지?
Pero ang boses na ito, totoo ba na ito ang boses ni Jesus? Sa akin niya ba pinapapastol ang tupa niya? Sa akin niya ba ito sinasabi? Bakit sa taong tulad ko ba siya nagbibigay ng ganitong salita? Si Pedro, marami siyang kapintasan at maraming kakulangan. Pero bakit ba sa dami-dami ng mga tao sa akin niya pinapapastol ang tupa niya? Mga iniibig ng mga tagapakinig, ang kwentong ito ay hindi po sinalita kay Pedro, kundi sa atin po ngayon sinasabi ng Diyos, pakanin mo ang tupa ko, pakainin mo ang tupa ko. Lahat po kayo ay may kakulangan tulad ni Pedro, di po ba? Mayroon kayong pagkakamali, di ba? Mayroon kayong kasalanan ginawa, di ba? Mayroon kayong kasamaan, di ba? Pero Panginoon, bakit sa lahat ng mga tao, bakit sa akin po ba? Si Pedro ay sobrang nagpasalamat. Pakainin mo ang tupa ko. Pakainin mo ang tupa ko. Opo, Panginoon. Pakakainin ko po ang tupa ninyo. Sobrang buti ng mga kapatiran po natin. Nowadays, sa dami ng trabaho, busy po konti. Pero marami mga taong dumarating para makipag-counseling. Sa puso ng lahat ng mga kapatiran natin, ay punong-puno ng pag-ibig kay Jesus. Ang mga taong umiibig kay Jesus ay sino po ba? Ang mga taong nakatanggap ng pag-ibig ni Jesus. Sa taong tulad natin na walang kwenta, madumi at masama. Panginoon, 3 beses ko po kayo pinagkaila. Anong klaseng apostol po ba ako? Anong klaseng tagapangaral po ba ako? Hindi po ako ay mangingisda na lang. Ako ay mangingisda na lang. Hindi po ako karapat-dapat mangaral. Kaya siya umalis para mangisda. Pero si Jesus na naman ang lumapit kay Pedro. Sa umaga, dahil malamig, sila ay nagsika ng apoy, tapos nagluto ng tinapay doon, at saka ng tubig, at naghintay siya doon. Nakahuli ba kayo ng maraming isda? Wala po. Ihagis nyo ang lambat sa kanan ng bangka. At nung nakita nila na may nahuling isda, agad niya naramdaman na ito si Jesus. Alam niyo, si Pedro, sobrang maikli ng pasensya, hindi man lang siya nagbangka pabalik, lumangoy na lang siya. Tapos nakita niya si Jesus na nagsisiga. At saka hinihintay niya si Pedro. Naghanda siya ng tinapay. At kumain sila ng tinapay. At uminom ng tubig. Pagkatapos ng kanilang kainan, sinabi ni Jesus, Simon, anak ni Juan, iniibig mo ba ako higit sa lahat ng mga nandito? Totoo po na pinagkaila ni Pedro si Jesus. Pero hindi din niya matanggihan na iniibig niya si Jesus. Opo, alam niyo po na iniibig ko kayo. Tayo po si Pedro. Wala pong kahit sino sa atin ang walang kahihiyan sa harapan ng Diyos. Taas po na kamay kung hindi kayo nahiya sa Diyos. Meron po ba? Lahat tayo ay may ginawang kahihiyan sa harapan ng Diyos. Tama po ba? Lahat tayo ay mga ganong klaseng tao. Masama, at sinungaling, at naging mahalay, at madumi, at maraming mga pagnanasang mga tao. Ngunit sa puso natin, ang pag-ibig natin kay Jesus ay hindi po nabubura. Minsan-minsan sinasabi ko rin na hindi ko kilala si Jesus, na tinanggihan ko rin si Jesus. Ngunit sa kalakihan ng puso ko, hindi ko pwedeng burahin ang pag-ibig ko kay Jesus. Simon, anak ni Juan, inibig mo ba ako? Opo. Yung Jesus na yon, ngayong araw, ay parehong nagtatanong po sa atin. Elder Pangmuntek, iniibig mo ba ako higit sa lahat ng mga tao nandito? Elder Hwang Hyo-jung, iniibig mo ba ako higit sa lahat ng mga tao na nandito? Opo, marami po akong kapintasan, marami akong kakulangan sa harapan ng Diyos. Ngunit ang pag-ibig ko sa Diyos ay hindi ko po matanggihan. Pakanin mo ang tupa ko. Pastulin mo ang tupa ko. Panginoon, ano pong sinabi niyo? Sa taong tulad ko, pinapaubayan ninyo ang tupa ninyo? Panginoon, paano sa taong tulad ko ninyo ipinapaubaya ang inyong tupa? Si Pedro ay nagpasalamat. Panginoon, ang taong tulad ko ay tinatanggap niyo muli. Opo. Si Jesus na tumanggap sa ganong Pedro. Ngayong gabi, ang mga madudumi at makasalanan tulad natin din ay tinatanggap niya. Tulad po ng pagtanggap ni Jesus kay Pedro, lahat din po kayo ay tinanggap na ni Jesus. Nalaman ang ating kapintasan, nalaman ang ating pagnanasa, nalaman niya na tayo ay madumi, gayon pa man. Iniibig mo baga ako higit sa lahat ng mga nandito? Sagutin niyo nga po. Iniibig po natin si Jesus, di ba? Iniibig po natin, di ba? Opo, iniibig po natin siya. Oo, lahat ng kasalanan mo, tinubos ko na sa krus, kaya magtrabaho na tayo na magkasama. Ako po, inakala kong itatapon ng Diyos ang taong tulad ko. Akala ko hindi niya ako ibigin. Sa nakaraang 60 taon, si Jesus ay gumawa ng maraming kahangahangang bagay sa akin. Kung makita natin, ang choir natin ay napakaganda. Kanina, umakyat pa ako sa second floor. Nakita ko na maraming mga bata. Nung nakita ko, sila pala yung Safari Dance Team. Sila daw ay gagraduate this time. Kaya may bagong Safari Dance Team teacher ang nagre-recruit ng bagong mga miyembro. Ang mga batang ito, napakabata pa nila dati pero ngayon ang laki na po nila. At sila ay sumasayaw, sobrang ganda po. Sila daw ay pupunta naman sa Lincoln School. Sobra po silang lovable. Sa Chonan, si Pastor Kim Yong-ak para ibigay sa akin. Kainin ko raw, bumili siya ng chestnut cookies. Walnuts, no, snacks. Sobrang katakam-takam. Pero dahil nasa fasting kami, tiniis ko po. Binigyan ko po sila ng isang kahon. Yung mga bata ay tuwang-tuwa itong tanggapin. Mayroon kayang mas mabait na mga bata tulad nito? Mayroon kayang mga batang mas masunurin pa sa mga ito? Kanina napanood natin sa pelikula, diba yung anak na babae, sobrang bastos niya sa kanyang stepmother. Siguro dahil sa ito ay drama lang. Tayo po sa biyaya ng Diyos ay nalinis sa lahat ng ating kapintasan. Pakainin mo ang tupa ko. Yun po ang narinig natin. Hindi po ito salita na sinabi kay Pedro, kay Pastor Su Park, kay Pastor Kim Samuel, kay sister, kay brother. Sinabi po ito ng Diyos. Dahil alam niya na lahat ng kapintasan ko, sinabi niya na pakanin mo ang tupa ko. Ako rin po isang taong maraming mga kapintasan at kakulangan. Sobra po ako nagpapasalamat na pinahintulutan gawin ang ganitong gawain ng Ebanghelyo. Habang kami po ay nagpa-prayer meeting, parang halos lahat ng mga kapatid ng simbahan namin ay dumating. Maliban lang sa mga nagtatrabaho sa oras na iyon. Punong-puno po kami kaya pumunta po kami sa basement, third floor basement. Sobra po ako nagpasalamat. At ang mga patotoo nila ay napakaganda. Ano po bang patotoo yun? Na sinabi ni Jesus sa akin na pakainin ko daw ang tupa niya. sa atin din po lahat. Sobra po itong malaking pasalamat. Ayon, maraming kakulangan na maraming mga kapintasan. Lahat ng ating mga kapintasan ay lininis ni Jesus at sinabi, pinakain po sa atin ang kanyang tupa. Kaya rin po lahat ay manalangin po para sa ating mga kapastoran. Ang mga pastor po natin ay nagmamature na at hindi natin masabi na wala nang mga makalaman na pastor, ngunit sa biyaya ng Diyos. Sila po ay naging mga mahal na lingkod ng Diyos. At sila ay gagawa ng world's best church upang maging isang simbahan na magbabago sa buong mundo. Po tayo lumalaki ngayon. Nais ko po kayong tanungin, iniibig niyo po ba si Jesus? Totoo po ba na inibig niyo si Jesus? 3 beses ko kayong tatanungin. Totoo ba na inibig niyo si Jesus? Opo. Tulad ni Pedro. Minsan pinagkakailatin natin siya. Pero sa puso natin ay mayroon pong pag-ibig kay Jesus. Kaya sinabi ni Jesus sa atin, pakanin mo ang tupa ko. Ang mga batang mga pastor batang mga brother na dumarating dito sa simbahan, ay guide niyo po na mabuti para makakain sila ng mabuti ng salita ng Diyos. At paglipas ng ilang mga panahon, sa kahariang yaon, tayo po ay makita muli kasama ng Panginoon. Manalangin po tayo. Papasalamat po kami sa harapan ng banal na Amang Diyos. Kung makita po namin ang choir, napakaganda po nila. At ang Safaritan's team din ay sobrang ganda. Ngayong araw, ang mga kabataan po natin ay nag-volunteer ng 1 taon sa ibang bansa at nakauwi na po dito. At napakaganda po nila talaga. Sila po ang mga Pedro sa panahon na ito. Habang mga estudyanteng ito ay nakikinig ng mga patotoo, sobra po silang nagpasalamat. Nawahawakan niyo po ang aming simbahan upang hindi po malulong sa kasalanan ng aming mga kapatiran. Nawa hindi po sila matisod, hindi po sila lumayo sa iglesia. Talagang sa pag-ibig kay Jesus. Tulad po ng sinabi niyo kay Pedro, sinabi niyo din po iyon sa amin. Gabayan niyo po kami upang kami mabuhay para lamang sa Panginoon hanggang sa pagharap namin sa inyo. At kung ito po gawin ninyo, kung ganoon kami po ay maglilingkod sa Panginoon. Kung hindi niyo po kami tulungan, kami po ay agad matataya ni Satanas. Kaya mga mahal na kapatiran namin, naniniwala po kami natutuwa kayo sa kanila. Pagpalain niyo po sila. Maraming salamat po. At sana matagal na matagal po kayong sumaamin. Kasama ng Ebanghelyo, kasama ng Panginoon nawa ay sumaamin. Nanalangin po kami sa pangalan ni Jesus. Amen. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you so much, Reverend Oksu Park, for sharing us the precious Word of God, which is the true salvation. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have sin anymore, and I hope that you will believe that inside of your heart and keep it. Then that is the real time that you could find the real happiness that we would like to share to everyone. And right now, before we will go to our group meeting, we'll be calling first the President of International Youth Fellowship Philippines for the closing remarks.
Hello everyone. All of our global camp attendees, are you happy? I believe all of you become very happy and all of you enjoy this program, right? Yeah. Do you know why you are very happy tonight and our last 3 days? Because you have seen the people of IYF, like our MC, our lecturer, our former good news school member you meet in your every night group meeting, right? So whenever you see them in your body, you know, you have one function in your body. Do you know what is that? It's called mirror neuron. It means whenever you see somebody who look good in your eyes, you have function to imitate their behavior. That's the reason why we become very, influential to other people. And then whenever we do such a beautiful program, the people who see you or who see us, if they feel that they are good people, then they have heart to imitate their behavior. That is the way how the people are changing. So, in these 3 days global camp, you have heard many beautiful lecture of the lecturers, and then life story of our former Gundusco volunteer members, and then like what you see, the story of our MC when she was in Japan. All these things, become a good example in your eyes. So while you are watching it, while you are hearing the lectures, you have a heart to imitate their lives. That's the way how we make next generation leaders in our IYF. So between the lovers, for example, if the husband make one action, then the wife also want to imitate that action. It's very easily seen, in everyday life. For example, if a husband, if he make yawn, a wife also do the same. Why? Because wife loves the husband. That is a mirror neuron function. That's why, the IYF Global Camp is very contagious, in the hearts of the people. Because all our IYF people, they have very good mindset. So from the first day until today, when you see the action of our people, wow, they look good. Their lives good. Their life story good. Their lecture good. Their way of leading people good. Wow, I want to be like them. Yeah, that's what happened to you, and you are already be contagious with IYF program. That's why you now love IYF people, IYF lifestyle, and then you also want to duplicate through your life. So many of you already have heart to go to other country as a volunteer, right? Is there anybody who want to go to volunteer in other country? If you have that heart, you are already contagious by our global camp program. That's actually what we aimed for when we start this program, because we want to make next global leaders through this global camp. So I believe many of you who joined to this program already watched many real story. Tonight, I could see the reaction of the people when they watched the Sin Jie story, right? Many were crying in their eyes, and then they are already been contagious through this real story, because they felt that it's very good. It's very good, and it's actually worth imitating while they watch this program. So the people's heart become very touched, and they want to be next, volunteer in Good News Corps program. This is a amazing way of reproducing many new leaders, global leaders. This is the aim of global camp. for example, our MC, she was just a, you know, just ordinary girl, provinciano. But when she was connected with IYF, she learned many things. And then when she was sent to Japan, there she learned many more things. And then she become globalized mindset. And now, as you have watched her, she is no more from the, right? She is very beautiful and good looking and very, well-leading MC, right? Yeah, that's how we make global leaders through this global camp. So all our attendees here tonight, before you sleep, before you finish, this program, after me, there is a group meeting, right? I hope you learn until the last moment, and we will let you know 수술온다 program, and then I hope you make habit of searching always IYF, and then GNC, IMEI, the organizations like that. Then you will get information about activities of our organization. Our organization is very influential, in the Philippines. Not only the young people like you, even in PNP, BJMP, DEPED, BFP, PAF, AFP, Philippine Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, many more organizations, we do this mind education, and thousands of many more, people are always coming to our program, and they are being changed through this program. So I am very happy tonight to see your bright face and your happy heart. Keep on going with that heart until you finish your life, and always connected to IYF. Then God will surely bless you, and your life will be truly life of significance. So if you don't make our life significant, what's the use of living in this world? No meaning. But if you become very significant life, you are the one who can lead other people, and you can also make them contagious to your lifestyle. That's the leader. So if there is one man who make other people contagious because of his good behavior, they are the leader. Am I right? Yeah, you are already leader, and through our IYF leader, many are changed this week. So we are very happy to see such a beautiful result. So I'm not very long because this is just a closing ment, and then you talk with your group leader and you finish this program very well. So thank you for joining within this 3 days event in our global camp, and keep on going with IYF, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Reverend Abraham Nam, for that closing remarks. And this time, before proceeding to our group meeting, we'll be having first some of our announcements. First is that just like what we requested 2 days ago, would like to request once again for your pictures while joining the program. So you could upload this to the link that will be provided on your group chat. So there are some who's asking that they cannot upload their pictures using their phone. So please use your laptops, or what do you call that? Thank you so much to all of our participants who attended our 2022 IYF Online Global Camp. And of course, I believe just like what Reverend Abraham Nam told us, you must be the one who will be contagious in sharing this leadership and of course in sharing the word of God that you have received tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we will be showing you as well the link for the attendance and the reflection. So please don't forget to fill out those reflection forms in order for you to complete it and in order for you to receive an international seminar. And please also be updated to our official Facebook page, the IYF International Youth Fellowship Philippines, because you know what, IYF is conducting different kinds of programs and activities for the youths, and mostly it is actually every week we do have our program. So in order for you to be updated, just like what I saw a while ago in our chat box, there are a lot who's saying that kailan po yung next time, when will be the next time, when will be the next program. So for you to be more updated, please stay tuned and please follow the IUIF International Youth Fellowship Philippines official Facebook page. And of course, we would like to recommend you as well to follow our official Facebook page, the Good News Corps Philippines, in order for you to know more or to have more information about going abroad as an overseas volunteer. And one more thing is that we are always recommending our school, which is the Lincoln School of Arts and Languages. So we would like to recommend it to all of you who are upcoming senior high school students. Please do please do join and enroll to our school, which is the Lincoln School of Arts and Languages. Surely you will learn a lot of things, not only foreign languages, music, but you will also learn the world, the heart, which is the mind education. And right now, we'll be proceeding to our group meeting. I hope that you will enjoy our last time meeting together with our leaders and our group mates. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a nice day.
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Thank you. So how are you feeling today? Are you happy or are you sad because it's our last day?
Happy and sad.
Maybe you're feeling mixed emotions right now because today we will conclude our 2022 IYF Global Camp. But don't be sad because we have more events that are in store for you for this year. So like what our MCS said, just follow us on our social media accounts and we will be posting and advising you of our next events within the IYF. So anyways, tonight I'm also very happy because we still have one more session for our group meeting, right? Before we finally conclude this event. So just like yesterday, I prepared a very short presentation that I want to share to all of you tonight as we end our program. Let me just share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. So what I want to talk about tonight in our group meeting is about the importance of connection, right? As you got connected to the IYF this week, I believe that you're able to learn a lot of things, right? How to open your heart, how to share your heart, and how to listen to other people around you, especially with the messages and lectures that were given to you in the duration of our World Camp. So this photo right here is a very beautiful photo, right? It's one of the most famous tourist attractions that people go to in Europe. And normally this scenario, right, this very scenic photo is found in the country of Iceland. So Iceland is located in the continent of Europe, right? And you call this phenomena as the Northern Lights or the Aurora Borealis, right? So people who want to see this Northern Lights or Aurora Borealis, they normally go to countries like Iceland or Norway or Sweden, and they're able to see this beautiful dancing lights within the sky. So Iceland is known for this country. Iceland is known for this phenomena. Also, Iceland is called as the land of fire and ice, right? It's those are very contrasting words, right? It's quite a paradox. But within the country of Iceland, they're surrounded by many active volcanoes and also many glaciers, right? And many icebergs. So that makes the terrain of that country very unique, right? And very beautiful as well. This is one of the most famous attractions also in that country. If you have watched the Game of Thrones, if any of you have watched that series, right, this is one of the shooting places of that series, the Game of Thrones. It's called as the Skogafoss waterfall in this photo. And then lastly, this is also one of the most visited places in their country, the Blue Lagoon, right? They say that if you come here and if you dip your body or your face, right, within the mud of this Blue Lagoon, you can be able to have better or more refreshed skin because of the many minerals that are present in the mud or in the soil. And this pool is actually heated by the lava that surrounds some of the volcanoes within their country. So while Iceland is a very beautiful country, right? Very, very interesting place and very a lot of very nice places to visit. There's also a dark side of the country which not many people know, especially in the past 30 years. Actually, Iceland, in the country there, they were experiencing a massive youth problem last 30 years ago, right? Because their youths, right, the youths like you, maybe same age as you, within 15 years old to about 20 to mid 20s, right? The youths in their country, they suffered severely from alcoholism, right? About half of the population of the youth in Iceland were alcoholic, right? And they experienced severe alcoholism and being drunk, right? And of course, when people get drunk, when people get influenced by alcohol, they turn on to other vices as well, right? What's the next vice that people normally do after drinking alcohol? The most common is smoking, right? That's why after half of the youth population became addicted to alcohol, almost a third of the youth population were engaged or were addicted to smoking as well, right? And you can see the domino effect, right? You can see the vicious cycle, that can happen within the hearts or within the pattern of lifestyle within the youth. After drinking, they will smoke. Maybe after smoking, they will use drugs, right? That's the common flow of the heart as we get dragged by our desires. So the government of Iceland, right, they were thinking of a solution, how to halt or stop this youth problem that's being experienced by the young people in their country, right? So as the psychologists in Iceland studied this phenomena or this problem in their society, they tried to understand what the other 50% of the youths who were not engaged in alcohol, what they were doing, right? Because it's common sense, right? For example, in your class, you're failing or you are not doing well, but some students in your class are doing well, right? They follow well, they have good grades, they can understand the lesson. So it's just very natural for you to ask, right? What are they doing different from me? And if I could learn something from them, maybe I can improve, right? So what other way to discover, the reason why 50% of the youth population in Ireland were heavily engaged in drinking, right? One method that they use is try to find out what the youths who were not drinking, what are the activities or what are the things that they were doing to avoid alcohol, right? So that was a very simple method that they used in their research. And three things or three key results that they found out was first, people or the youths who spent more time with their family, they didn't, smell like an alcohol reek, right? They didn't engage or drink, tons of bottles of alcohol and consume bottles of alcohol within their system, right? So number one, they spent more time with their family. Second, they were part of groups, right? Maybe a soccer group or maybe, an after class club, or they were engaged in group activities, right? So that was the second thing that they discovered. And then the third is very simple, comes back again to the concept of family, right? You see here the Aurora Borealis again, very beautiful evening, right? Maybe during the nighttime is in Iceland, right? Since the night sky is very captivating, a lot of people would want to go out, right? Venture outside and meet friends, and that's the time they, engage in alcohol, right? But the third reason they found out is these, students or these youths who are not alcohol addicts, they did not go out during evening time. So they just spent their time in the house during evening. Maybe they spent more time with their family, or maybe they were doing schoolwork, or I don't know what other activities they did, but they just stayed at home, right? So going back to this three reasons that they found out. Number one, the youth spent more time with their family. Second, they were engaged in group activities. And third, they just stayed at home simply, right? That's why they were not influenced or dragged by the desires of alcohol or drinking, right? So after this study, the government of Iceland, especially in their main city, in their capital city of Reykjavik, they wanted to invest in the youth so that they can be able to stop or halt the alcoholism, the alcoholic problems of the youth there. So they set a specific budget for the youth. It was about 20,000 pesos if you convert it to Philippine pesos, but it was 250 pounds, right? About 20,000 pesos that the city of Reykjavik, their capital, has distributed or gave to each and every household in their city. And then they said, we're giving you 20,000 pesos per year, not per month, right? It might be too much costly, but per year. And use this 20,000 pesos to for your children, right? Enroll them in classes, in sports, in music, in arts, or anything that they can be part of a group, right? Because once they are part of a group, once they feel that their hearts are flowing with the other people around them, they can be able to avoid the harmful vices such as alcoholism or even smoking or even the use of drugs, right? So the government of Iceland, they invested 20,000 pesos per family per year to help and support these youths to be part and bonded with groups so that they can be far from the harmful vices or substances they were consuming. And true enough, the experiment or the intervention that the government has did was successful. So a lot of youths enrolled in music classes, some dance classes, some of them, their interests were in arts, and some were, in sports. And amazingly, after this intervention program, when we see the results of the intervention program of the government, by 2012, about half of the 15 to 16 years old youths category, they played 4 times a week 4 times a week. They played sports 4 times a week. So after school, they would head to the soccer field or basketball court, and they would just play with their groups. And then the number of teens spending time with their parents on weekdays doubled, right? I don't know if the budget was used for some activities to be, to be used within their household or family, but teens, parents also, because parents also were educated that they should spend or allocate more time in the house, within the home, educating their children, spending more time with them, eating together or playing and studying with them. So the number of teens spending time with their mother and father, the parents, doubled during the weekdays. Then another result they have seen, about 90%, there was a 90% drop in the number of teens who say that they have been drunk in the past month, right? The statistics I told you earlier, more than half, right, were consuming harmful substances, especially alcohol, right? But right now, there was a 90% drop in those number of teens. And then lastly, in terms of smoking, they said that only a minor 3% of the 15 to 16-year-old population group have smoked. Of course, the results are not perfect. It's still a work in progress, right? But we could see the improvement, right? We could see the development, right, of how the youths in Iceland, right now, they are considered actually as the most or the cleanest living model citizens or model youths in Europe, right? I don't know if the Filipino youth are considered as the model youths or model citizens in Asia, right? But in the Europe, the Icelandic youths, they're considered right now as the cleanest living model citizens, right? Far from alcohol, far from smoking, right? Far from cigarettes, even far from drugs. And the reason is very simple, because they became closer to home. They became closer to their father. They became closer to their mother. They became closer to their teachers, right? Or to other groups that they were involved in after their class. And as a result, they could live a new and bright life, right? When they became far from the harmful substances and closer to the family, or closer and connected to more people around them. So the reason I'm saying this is because if you look at our world right now, you can see a common pattern that no matter which country we look at, the sick world that we are living in right now, a lot of youths, a lot of young people, they're engaged in drug abuse, internet addiction, as I shared to you, alcoholism in Iceland, pornography, game addiction, gambling, etc. Right? The list goes on and on, right? That's the sick world that the young people or the youths are living in right now. If we trace the root cause of this problem, right, as I shared to you the case study in Iceland, maybe one thing you can already feel or you could guess in your heart is, if people or if the youths are farther from their family, they would be closer to, these harmful substances, right? But in the opposite, if they become closer to their family, closer to their teacher, closer to their mentors, right? They could be protected from these harmful substances. There's what you call as a social bond theory in psychology. It basically explains how crime starts, right? So it's a bit more severe, right? Earlier, I just talked about vices, right? Smoking, drinking. But right now, there's a certain theory that explains how crime starts, especially within the youth, right? I hope, our youth attendees or participants here will not, be as far as this level, right? But anyways, the social bond theory explains and was developed by Dr. Travis Hirschi in his book entitled Cases of Delinquency. Basically, the premise or what he tries to share or explain in his book is, he said that delinquent acts or criminal acts result when an individual's bond to society is weak or broken, right? So our life is not isolated from other people, right? Our life is a is a formation or a series of connections with many people around us. Your mother, your father, your teacher, any person that's around you, you have, invisible threads, right? Or bonds that where you are connected to them. So you see this line, right? He says here, if an individual's bond to society, it may be your parents, it may be your teacher, it may be your pastor, right? Or any leader around you. If this bond is weak or has become broken, right? Or if you have been cut off from this bond, then that's the time the youths become delinquent or they engage in criminal acts, right? Some of them, maybe light acts such as maybe stealing, right? Or maybe harming other people, right? But it can go or escalate as far as, murder, right? Those people do not become murderers from the start, right? Or those people don't become drug addicts from the start. The first step that happened in their heart is they were cut off, right? Their bond to their parents, their bond to the people around them was weak and was cut off and broken. And that was the time they became such miserable people, right? So in the opposite, if we think about it, what is the way for us not to tread that miserable path? We need to strengthen our bond, right? With the people around us. And in the IYF, that's what we are advocating for the youth, right? To have established strong bonds of connection with your parents, of course, in the IYF, with the mentors or with the lecturers you have here, or the people around you. If you can establish this strong bond within these people, then you can live, a happy and successful life, and you will not tread that miserable path, right? Just like the case study that I showed you in the country of Iceland. When they became closer to their parents, they could be far from harmful activities, right? And of course, they can have higher chances of success in their future. Anyways, for our time for tonight, there's one more story I want to share, right? Because this is our last session. I want to share one story as well from the Bible, right? So this painting that you see here, this is a painting of a Dutch artist by the name of Rembrandt, right? So the title of this painting, can you guess? Oh, it's here. Sorry. The title of this painting is The Prodigal Son, right? You can see, right, in this painting, portrayed by the artist or painter Rembrandt, right? So one key characteristic of this painting is, the contrasting of light and darkness, right? You can see here that the focus is on the Father and on the Son, right? The lighting is more evident here, while on the background, you can see other people, right? Maybe the servants within the Father's house and other people as well, right? But the contrasting element that Rembrandt was trying to paint here is he was trying to highlight the love, right, and acceptance of the Father to the prodigal son who was returning home after a very long journey, right, of being away from his father, right? I know you know this story very well, but let us try to understand it once more from another perspective, right? So I prepared the verses here that we can try to read once again to absorb and further understand this story from a different angle or different perspective. So I'll try to read it again for you. Verse 11, and he said, a certain man had 2 sons. 12, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. 13, and not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. 14, and when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. 15, and he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine. 16, and he would fain have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. 17, and when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough to spare, and I perish here with hunger. 18, I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. 20, and he arose and came to his father, but when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. 21, and the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. 22, but the father said to his servants, bring forth the best robe, and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet. 23, and bring hither the fatted calf, and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. 24, for this my son was dead, and is alive again. He was lost, and is found. And they began to be merry. So I know you know this story very well, but one thing I want to share within this story are two places, right, that you can see and that we can clearly distinguish, right? You can see here two circles, right? The first circle is labeled as a place of being outside the Father's house, right? And the light blue circle is labeled inside the Father's house. If we analyze this story a bit deeper, we can see, the plot of this story is divided into two places, right? Outside the Father's house and inside the Father's house, right? So what happened? What were the events, or what were the things that happened outside the Father's house, right? When the prodigal son, got his, share of inheritance, right? He wasted his money. He wasted his inheritance, going into the house of prostitutes, right? Going in the beer house, in the prostitutes den, and then he ended up in bankruptcy, right? So everything that he had in possess was all put into waste, right? When he got this inheritance and, wastefully used it, right? Without deep thinking. And then you could see that the end result of his life was, and destination for being outside of the Father's house is where? Is the pig pen, right? If the prodigal son continued in this place of being outside the Father's house and ultimately just dwelling within the pig pen, can you guess what would happen to his life? Would he still be alive? Do you think he can survive? Right? He was just eating the husks that the swine did eat from, right? So he was eating the food of the pigs, right? Very dirty, it's contaminated with germs and bacteria. So he will be sick, he will feel weak, and then in the end, right, he will die a miserable death, right? So you can see that the pattern of living outside the Father's house is the destination is towards a miserable life, and in the end, death, right, and humiliation, right? So this is the life of being outside the Father's house, right? It starts with arrogance of wanting to possess, his inheritance early on, even though his father is still alive. And then he wanted to boast and show himself to other people around him, going to different places like in the beer house. And then I don't know if he tried to start a business also, but he ended up in bankruptcy. And in the end, when he ultimately lost everything, the only place that could accept him was the pig pen, right? If you can imagine his image in the pig pen, his clothes must be very smelly, very dirty, right? And nothing to boast about, nothing to be proud of, right? So this was the end state of the prodigal son when he was outside the father's house, right? But on the contrary, if you look at the other circle, when the prodigal son realized that if he stayed further in the pig pen, right, when death entered his heart, and when he realized that if I stay here a bit longer, surely I will perish here. So I should stand up, I should get myself moving and return to my father's house. He remembered the state of his father's house, that even the hired servants in his father's house had bread enough to spare, right? But why am I here perishing with hunger, right? So he arose, right? And he decided within himself, even though I don't get accepted as a son again by my father, but I need to come back at least to save my life, right? Even though I suffer humiliation, even though I just become like one of his servants, but I need to get out of this pig pen because I would perish here, right? But if I am connected, if I could return back to my father's house, at least I can live, right? At least there is bread to eat, right? At least there is clothes to wear, right? So when he had that realization within his heart, he traveled the very far journey of coming back to the house of his father, right? And amazingly, when he went back to his father, right, when his father saw him, at first going back, right, the father was actually waiting for his son, right? Day in, day out, right? Every sunrise, every sunset, he was waiting for his son that left him previously, right? So when finally the day came that his son returned back home, he was very excited and he was very joyous, and he could not contain his excitement of welcoming back his son, right? So he prepared a ring, right? He prepared new shoes. He gave new clean robes, right? Clean linen and clothes that his son could wear. And finally, what was the end of the story here? He was restored, right? So in the place of the pig pen where he was supposed to perish, he was transferred to a place where he could be restored, right? He was given a ring, right? In the Bible, the ring is a symbol of sonship, right? Of being a son, right? So the father wanted to express to his son that you are my son, right? You are my son. Since you have come back to my house, I'm considering you as my son again. So don't worry about what happened in the past, right? And one more thing that the father gave are the robes, right? Clean linen, clean robes to wear. Before, the prodigal son could only wear dirty, and filthy garments, right? In the pig pen, in the beer house, in the prostitutes, then he was wearing dirty clothes, right? But when he went inside his father's home, his image was completely transformed, right? 180 degrees of transformation, right? New clothes and new garments were given upon him, right? Freshly, washed, very clean robes, and now this has become his new garments, right? Actually, the story of the prodigal son written in Luke chapter 15 is not just any ordinary parable, but this actually is a story of mankind, right? This is our story, right? This is your story, right? When we were outside the Father's house, it means when we were disconnected from God because of sin, right? When Adam ate of the forbidden fruit, which is the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, when Adam ate of this fruit, he became disconnected from God, right? God himself, if we put another name in replacement of God, another name for God is life, right? So being disconnected from God is being disconnected from life, right? So anything that is outside of God is death, right? You could see in the story in the prodigal son, from the moment he was disconnected from his father, he was treading a journey that was going to a place where he could only die and perish. And the end state was in the pig pen, right? A very dirty, a very filthy place, and he could only, live a miserable life there, right? So because we are descendants of Adam, right? Because we inherited this sinful nature from Adam, right? And we could only sin and we could only live in darkness since we were already disconnected from life, or we have been disconnected from God, right? The heart of God for us, as you have heard, I believe in our world camp, is for us to be connected again, right, to the Father's house, right? It means being connected once again to the Word of God and to the promise of God, right? If we come back to the Word, if we come back to the Father, right, what is waiting for us? Ring, shoes, robes, right? And our end state is restoration, right? Whatever we have lost previously because of being a sinner, we can all be restored, right? Of the glory, of righteousness, of holiness, when we become connected once again within the Father's house, right? Within the Father's house, there is the promise of God. In the Father's house, there is the Word of God that has promised that we have been made 100% righteous, right? 100% clean and holy through the blood and sacrifice of Jesus Christ, right? So the meaning of going back inside the Father's house is going back to the promise of God, right? What did God say in His Word, right? Didn't He say that we have been already made righteous, right? If we accept that in our heart, then that is like the long journey that the prodigal son took from the pig pen to the Father's house, right? From the state or place of being a sinner, we can become, a redeemed son once again, a restored son of God once again when we believe this promise of God in our heart, right? I believe that even though our world camp or our global camp is a very short event, it's only for 3 days, but I believe that little by little, we are, or our participants or students are slowly being able to open their heart, right, to the Word of God and be connected once again to the promise of God in your heart. Anyway, since we do not have much time left in this evening, right, I just wanted to recap, right, what I shared to you earlier tonight in our group meeting. Earlier, I shared to you about isolation, right, the case study in the story of the country of Iceland, right? More than half of the youth population there were, severe alcoholics, right? They were alcohol reeks, right? And then they lived a hopeless life of just consuming alcohol, right? But how did the lives of the youth in Iceland change, right? When they started to become more connected to their family, right? To their groups, to their schools and teachers, right? When they formed this stronger bonds within their community or their family, then they could be far from those harmful substances, right? So that is the power of connection, right? If you can be closer or have a stronger bond, right, within your family, or especially within us, within the IYF, I believe that you can be protected. Your life would be protected, and you could be able to have a bright future ahead of you, right? And then I mentioned about the life bond, right? I mentioned about the life bond and how people resort, to acts of being delinquent and crime, right? When their bond to society is either weak or has been broken, then ultimately they result to such acts, right? So what is the way for us to, protect our life, right? What is the way for us to, live a happy and bright life, right? As I shared to you, from the place of being outside the Father's house, we need to make that long journey of returning back to the house of our Father, right? In other words, it's leaving our thoughts, right? Leaving our thoughts and any heart that we have, and going back to the promise of God, right? God already said that we are righteous, we are clean, we are holy, right? We are sanctified by the blood of Jesus Christ, right? Let's leave our thoughts, right? Make this long journey from outside the Father's house to inside the Father's house, which is His promise. Then I believe that you will be able to find the real happiness and direction in your life. So it's just a 3-day event. So maybe some of you would feel that this experience or camp is very short, right? But don't worry, because in the coming months, we are planning to host more of these events, right? So that we can form a stronger heart and stronger mindset within the youths of our global camp. So anyways, thank you very much once again for your time and attention in joining our global camp and our group fellowship tonight. Before we conclude, as I asked you yesterday, is there any one of you who would like to share anything about your experience in the global camp, or any message or lecture that you have heard? I will only accept one. Okay. As I told you yesterday, right now I'm based in Korea. It's 1 hour advance here. It's almost 11 p.m. here, right? It's late already here. So I'll just be accepting one person. So is there any one of you who would like to briefly share or testify? Feel free to unmute and share. Is there any one of you? If you are nervous, feeling nervous, and if you think that you're being called to unmute that button, maybe it's you who's destined to share tonight. I can only see a few faces. How about Richard?
Sir, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. I just wanted to share that after the camp for this 3 event, I was very blessed and really happy, and I really find happiness every time I join this kind of event, and it's been really amazing. And I always believe that God has a reason and a purpose why I'm here right now, and it's kind of like an answered prayer, because I've been I would say I've been asking a lot about God, about His plan, and I'm always ask Him, what is your plan? What is my destiny? What is my real purpose? And I think it's an answered prayer, because I've known IYF um, back last September 2001, through the online Bible seminar, and then I kept on attending and events, and I was very lucky, and I believe that it's a big privilege, and it really changes me who I am today, and that's all, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Richard. I'm giving one more chance to any one of you. This is the last chance, only one. How about from Team 8, Rosalie? So we have one gentleman and one lady, and then we will conclude and finish. Your voice is a bit soft. Can you speak louder?
I feel blessed, sir, because just like Richard, I experienced so much many questions in my life. But when I joined IYF camp, I feel that I have so much more to be happy and blessed. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Rosalie, for your brief sharing, right? I think both of them said that they really feel blessed to have joined this global camp, right? Actually, this is only the start of your journey with IYF, right? As you attended our 3-day camp, I hope that you were able to learn about the world of the heart, and even more programs within the IYF that you could join in the future, especially our Good News Score program. Right. So this is not the end, but only a stepping stone. As we finish our World Camp, I would just like to thank each and every one of you for spending the past 3 days attending our camp, listening to our lecturers, and opening your heart to the Word of God. Thank you very much once again for this time, and I hope to see you in our next IYF event. Thank you, and have a good evening.